Welcome back to Crosshair here on the GDQ Hotfix, the show that brings you runs with bullets. First-person shooters, third-person shooters, shmups, bullet hells, lasers, rockets, grenades, paintballs, and shotgun shells. If it's got bullets in it, it's got a home here at Crosshair. My name is Dangerous, I'm your host, and if you've got a run that you think qualifies for this or any of our other GDQ Hotfix shows, head on over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix and fill out that run submission form, and you just may end up on a future episode of the GDQ Hotfix. Folks, today's going to be a fun one. We're going a little spooky today with Resident Evil, or as somebody once said to me, Citizen Bad. Kind of a weird joke, but I'll take it. We're going to be doing all DLCs from the newer games today. We're going to be wrapping up with probably my favorite Resident Evil modern day DLC, Separate Ways from Y4 Remake. Prior to that, we've got the two big DLCs from Resident Evil 7, Not a Hero and End of Zoe. But leading things off, we've got Resident Evil Village's Shadows of Rose with Big Scared. And I've hosted for Big Scared before, and just so you all know, every time I've hosted for Big Scared, we've been very, very normal, and there's been absolutely no memes or shenanigans of any kind. Big Scared, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dane. Thank you for having me tonight.
We're going to be very straight-laced, no memes, no shenanigans, right?
You know, I've shenaned before, and I'll shenan again.
Chad, this is what I mean. Every time. So we've got Resident Evil Village Shadows of Rose. This is the DLC that came out back in 2022, I want to say. Tell us a little bit about it.
So this is Shadows of Rose. It's part of the Winter's expansion pack. Those of you who may know me for my run at Fatales a couple years back of Resident Evil 8, the main game, I used the same DLC to run it in third person. You get both sort of entries into the game at the same time as part of the same DLC. In this DLC, we play as Rosemary Winters. It is 19 years after the events of the main game, and so we'll see when we get in there. I have an important question for you, though, before we get into it.
Oh, no.
Do you want to see us run in Dad's jacket or in the Street Wolf outfit?
Oh, every time I played through this, we went Street Wolf.
All right, that's for you, gamer. Okay, so this run is completed on casual difficulty because it has very brutal DA, and we'll be manipulating it in a wide variety of ways. But without further ado, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Good luck.
Thank you. So Shadows of Rose has a lot of very skippable cutscenes. They are all over the place, and you will sort of see them marking the start and end of chapters. Rose here is a very special girl. She is a bioweapon by nature. She has mold abilities, and the whole premise of this DLC is she doesn't want them anymore. She does not want to be a bioweapon. She just wants to be a normal, regular girl. And I believe in her ability to do that. But we are here in the crystal dimension, for lack of a better term. If you want to know what I mean, play the DLC, watch the cutscenes. It doesn't make sense even if you know what's going on. It's fine.
It's fairly accurate.
We're here. Yeah. And we're here to gather some things, run around and do some stuff. You might notice there's a really goopy quality to this world. It's pervasive and it will only get worse. You might be wondering who that is. That is one of the titular Shadows of Rose. Now, I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I know, it's Resident Evil. Imagine there being stuff going on here. But Rose is not the only Rose down here. We will see several iterations of Rose. We are the one true Rose. Don't get that twisted up. But there are people down here that look like us, there are people that sound like us, and there will be entities that we will have to deal with that are a lot like us. Unfortunately, until we encounter any of those things, we don't know how to run. So if you're wondering why we're walking so slow, it's because Rosemary does not know how to run yet.
Now, question, are we going to be going into the wine cellar at any point?
I believe so, yes.
Good, because I wanted to see rows and rows of wine barrels.
Oh my goodness.
See, chat, when I said that there was going to be no shenanigans, I lied.
You know, this is exactly why they should keep us apart, but they never do because it's too good. It's too good. Following my bestie, me, yes, I live, laugh, and love myself, Rosemary Winters, and she is leading the way because she knows the way, and I don't. Don't ask me how that works. It just does.
Whoa, who's that?
That's me, Rosemary Winters. Didn't you know? It's all about me here. I did mention there are quite a few iterations. For those of you who are a little squeamish, there will be body horror involving some of these. And we're going to be up close and personal with quite a few of those. But it's Resident Evil. If you didn't like body horror, why are you watching the show?
Yes, why are you watching the show about bullets? That's featuring Resident Evil. Granted, you will see bullets. They are in here. Yes. We're just taking a little bit of liberty with the word bullets here, but it's fine. Don't worry.
The cool thing about Rose is yes, there will be guns. She just has to remember where they are and how to use them, much like running. So we will get there very rapidly. But we have our first major thing here, our handle. We're going to learn how to run here soon. I hope you're very excited. I'm very excited.
I'm glad you finally got a handle on that.
What? Okay, here we go. So, the fun thing about this DLC is that a lot of the combat is not super required, but I'm going to be engaging in quite a bit of it to lower my DA. Because the more bullets you spend, the more hits you take, the more health you use, the lower that drops, and it makes boss fights easier. And so if we want optimal speed, we want to use our gun when we get it. We want to use our time while we have it, and we want to run through this door as quickly as we can. I do want to point out the goo. There are what's known as goo strats for this category. Some of them I use, some of them I don't because they're not safe to perform in a marathon setting or in a showcase, really. The category, you cannot take more than one death, and the one death has to be done in a very specific place. And it is done specifically to manipulate the DA in this game. So we have to do it deathless every time in order for it to count. And as such, I will only be running through certain piles of goo. I will point them all out, though, because I think it's interesting.
How come you have to do it deathless?
The in-game timer is the main mechanism by which we run the board. And so when you die, it resets, and it does not count the time that you would be reattempting the tricks that you would do. So it invalidates the run to do that. The one reason why the one specific death is allowed is because the reload is right there and there's almost no time loss at all. And it's as if you didn't take the death at all in terms of in-game time. All right, I mentioned Rose has to remember how to use a gun and where they are. It's right here. We're gonna have a spontaneous memory of guns. Sorry to let you down. We're not going to use it immediately, though. But we are going to pick up these bullets.
Okay, at least the run qualifies still. It's got bullets. So.
Yes. Yes. I promise the very next enemy we see, we are going to shoot. Because I find it safer to do so. Not necessarily because this enemy will grab you or do anything particularly dangerous, but because if you don't kill this enemy, your DA is too high when the boss fight happens and all the strats go out the window.
Makes sense.
So, kitchen friend's gotta go. Who's your favorite Resident Evil protagonist?
Chris Redfield.
Mine's the bolt cutters. They're in this game They're about to enable us to continue.
They're in every survival horror game. It's a staple. Actually, for me, it's a tie between Leon and Chris. And I guess the bolt cutters.
The bolt cutters is a classic. If I have to pick an actual character, I'm torn between Ethan just because I'm so soft on him. I love him dearly. And Rebecca Chambers.
Rebecca, interesting.
Yes.
Don't hear Rebecca too often.
Yeah. So I mentioned goo. This is an unsafe goo pile. If you're feeling super risky and fast enough and your frames cooperate with you, it can be done where you can just sort of power through that. But I've never made that happen. So we go around.
My God, the aim assist is so aggressive in this game.
Yeah, you'll notice later on the weak point bosses that Resident Evil is known for, the aim assist in this one will pull you away from the weak points.
Interesting.
And so you're actively fighting against the aim assist.
Oh, very good.
This go we are going to trudge through just because going around is slower. You can see our yellow paint walkway. We're just gonna walk this way. And somehow that's faster than going around.
Very good.
Everyone's favorite video game cliche.
What a thrill.
Ladder. Okay, so I did mention that Rose wants to get rid of her powers. The ironic twist here is that in order to do that, we have to power her up and she has to learn how to use them. So we're gonna get our first magical girl pickup here that does anything of value. This will allow us to burst open the mold cores that are around. I'm gonna pick up some ammo here in the hallway doing that, but we're mostly gonna use it for traversal and collecting a couple key items here in the castle.
It's just what every little girl wants.
The ability to burst a mold core, I know.
Yep.
I'm sure there's some sort of utility for that outside of this crystal dimension. Chat can let us know what that is, though. I gotta keep going.
Someone noted that your naming of unsafe goo would be a good name for a band.
Yes! Here's a funny thing. On casual, this zombie here will just burst through this door and let you go by. Goodbye. Any other difficulty, they would grab you.
Well done.
Alright, we're gonna clear through. Then we're gonna use our pistol to kite these enemies a little bit. We don't want... Oh, hey! I love enemy RNG patterns when it comes to their movement. It's super cool.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's what you want in a speedrun.
Luckily, that is more common than you think. It's the fun of Shadows of Rose. The hitboxes are just a little... They're a little bigger than they seem to be, much like this guy. He's got a hitbox that's a little bigger than it seems to be. Also gonna bust this open. Now, we're gonna do a little bit of walking around and traversing. If there's anything you would like to share with the chat, any announcements, now is a really good time.
Absolutely. Folks, coming up tomorrow, we've got the Nintendo Switch 2 releasing. And so to celebrate, GDQ is hosting a Nintendo Switch 2 launch day celebration. This is tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So right around this time, actually, 24 hours from now. Make sure to check out our special broadcast over here. Our special broadcast over at twitch.tv/antonline at 1 p.m. Eastern for the pre-party, and visit antonline.com. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a very cool lineup of Switch games that are either releasing on the Switch 2 at launch or shortly after. So it'll be a lot of fun.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. If I ran anything that was gonna be on the Switch 2, I could have participated myself, but I am sadly I'm too much of a PC runner to do that.
I wonder if anyone's going to be running the watermelon game on Switch too.
The what?
The Suika watermelon game. You didn't realize that was on Nintendo Switch?
Got it. Yeah. I was like, I've only ever heard it called Suika. I've never heard it called the watermelon game before.
It's the most important release on the Nintendo platform, didn't you know?
I may have got it on Steam and gotten all achievements. Look, I can play Elden Ring and Lies of P and also Suika, okay?
That's true. Now, while we were hearing that lovely announcement, I got another magical girl ability. This is a, for lack of a better word, a stasis ability. Gives us a brief freeze on our enemies. I will be using it mostly to navigate hallways, but I will also use it against our first boss a few times because it just makes it more predictable. I also picked up a monocular key. For those of you who don't like big words, that is the one eye key. It's got one eye on it, and it opens a door with one big eye on it. Later on the run, we're gonna have a triocular key, that's 3 eyes for those of you keeping up, but we will never find a biocular key. There's no 2-eye key, and I don't know why. I just think that's very odd. Where's my 2-eye key? I need it.
I have it. Sorry. Let me correct. I have it.
Oh my goodness. I knew it. Every time the body hits the floor there, it raises my spirits. It's so good.
Really? I was kind of disturbed.
Listen, everyone else here is just hanging out, okay? At least they're doing something. All right, we've got a puzzle here. There's some scripture on the wall that talks about the order of deaths, and it's a nebulous puzzle, but really all you have to do is make a nice big X in the room and then stand here, and the puzzle will kind of just solve itself.
In the main game, you just made a circle going counterclockwise, and you solved the puzzle.
It's beautiful. I love gaming.
Some of these puzzles that they make from Capcom are like notoriously simple, but you don't know how simple they are when you first start, so you end up in the process of trying to solve it, making it so much more complicated.
Shout out to the Resident Evil 4 slider puzzles. You know what you did, Capcom.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even click that button, but go off.
Nice. That's the aim assist.
All right, there is our first boss. This is not the boss fight. This is just boss time outside of the arena. I'm gonna kite him around and do my best to navigate here without getting grabbed, but I often get grabbed here by the lesser enemies. The goal of being down in the cellar is to grab a mask for the statue in the main hallway. The point of getting the 3 masks is because there's a crystal in there. That crystal will definitely make us not a moldy magical girl, right?
Of course.
This early in the game, it's definitely gonna work.
That's why the estimate for this is so much shorter than the time right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get out of my way, thank you. All right, so I picked up a pipe bomb in that hallway. I'm gonna pick up this second pipe bomb here. I used to use these on the final boss, but now I use them for traversal during the stages of the first boss fight. Because not only are there weak spots on the boss, there are weak spots on the arena. I'll explain when we get there. But this really is a peak of Capcom Resident Evil design. There's so many weak spots all over the place. It's beautiful. But first, we have to do a puzzle involving art. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It is not a piano puzzle. We will not be playing the Moonlight Sonata today.
No.
I know. We're defying the cliche, but we're gonna still engage with art, and we're gonna appreciate it.
You cannot simply do it.
So you might have heard the Duke there. That is not our regular Duke. That is the masked Duke. I mentioned that we're in a crystal dimension. To be more specific, this is a hunk of the Megamycete from the end of the main game, where it still is technically alive and as such holds the memories of everything it ever interacted with. And so we're in a memory of this place. And so that's not really the Duke. That's a memory of a thought that Miranda had of him one time. And it feels super accurate. He's just the nicest guy. So this is a Predator's Prey puzzle. We just assort by size, and then we can go on.
I will say, I'm glad they kind of changed how the merchants played into the whole game structure in this versus something like RE4, where the merchant was just kind of out of place. He was just kind of showed up in random places and didn't really, like, kind of inexplicably. And then in this game, they actually worked the merchant into the story, and it made sense to have him there.
Yeah, and I also like the little Easter egg where if you visit the merchant enough times in this game, he tells you about his bestie, the other merchant from 4.
I think the line he actually says when you go to select buy, he goes, "What are you buying?" I had a friend that used to say that.
It's so good. All right, we've got the shotgun. We've got one last stop to make. We need one more mask. I mentioned a strategic death to manipulate the DA. It's gonna happen as soon as we get through this triocular door. I'm just gonna walk into the goo and I'm gonna let it take me. Headphone users, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She's gonna start screaming here.
Rose, no.
Not like this. All right, and we're on our way because the reset's right there.
That is really nice.
Yeah, and so that's the reason why that death is allowed. Otherwise, everything would be very aggressive, and this segment would be very difficult. I also want to point out that lowering your DA, if you are feeling risky, will let you just sort of run out there and grab the mask. But you have to be so fast at just the right angle to do it. And it's such a high stakes trick that I don't think it's worth it for a setting like this.
Yeah, it's very, very precise.
Very precise.
You are going to fail it more times than you succeed, so.
Yeah. It's one of those, if you're going for world record, yeah, you're probably going to have to learn that goose strat. But if you're not, and you're just here to vibe like we are and shoot some guns, oh, come on. Sir.
Oh.
You know what? I'm just going to deal with you.
I mean, you got grab. That's going to lower DA, so.
It is, and that's going to help in the long run. All right, we're gonna get our gold mask, and then we're gonna be on our way. We got a little bit of walk-in, because I'm gonna have to grab this and then make my way back in there, put it back in the statue. If there's anything else you'd like to share, now's a really good time.
Oh, we've got walk-in, you say?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to. Folks, just to let you all know, if you're looking to get more involved with the GDQ community, you can join the official Games Done Quick Discord and add the hotfix role. You can stay in the loop on upcoming events, chat with staff, and more. Use !Discord. I want to see someone use !Discord in chat if you want to join the GDQ Discord and get more info about that.
No, seriously?
Yes, now seriously.
Yes, join the Discord. Get those updates.
Seriously, join the Discord now. Jeez, Rose.
Ready for the grand finale?
Should we tell chat the joke that I told in your chat
That's over.
a couple streams back?
Absolutely.
Hey, chat. How did Ethan's daughter get off the couch?
Howdy.
She rose.
Oh, it still hurts.
I'm proud of the fact that I came up with that one on the spot.
It's so good. All right, we're only one shot lower than I normally am going into this boss fight, which will be fine. This is also the hardest boss in the entire run. It has 3 phases. He's very tanky. The weak spot changes locations.
Yeah.
And his pattern can be a little unwieldy because in true Resident Evil fashion, enemies do have a bit of autonomy in how they behave. He will absolutely give us whatever he gives us today. So wish me luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. First, we gotta put some masks on these ladies. Don't ask me why. We just do.
It's a Capcom puzzle.
It is Capcom puzzle. Oh, no, wrong one.
Oh,
Come here. Shout out to the puzzle. All right, we're definitely gonna grab this crystal. That's definitely gonna cure us of our magical girl powers. And we're definitely gonna end the run here, right? Mm-hmm. Right before the first boss? Oh. I have to fight him now.
there is a question
Eat
about
our Wheaties.
there's a question about
What's the
DA
question?
in
Yes.
chat. You want me to talk that through?
Hit me with it.
Sure. So yeah. So if you've been hearing us talk about DA throughout this run so far, DA is kind of an infamous mechanic that Capcom shoves into every Resident Evil nowadays. Basically, it dynamically adjusts the difficulty on the fly based on your gameplay. If you're playing really, really well, they make things a little tankier. They make enemies a little faster, a little bit more aggressive. If you're playing not so well, they will make enemies a little slower, make them a little less spongy. And so you can kind of get an experience that is somewhat tailored to your particular skill set. In theory, in practice, it doesn't really work that way. But that's the reason why speedrunners of these games have to manipulate their DA pretty often throughout the run, because if they just breeze through everything without taking that into consideration, fights like this would take twice as many bullets to complete. Whoa.
All right, he's dead.
Okay, we're good.
And he has a really long death animation, so this won't even slow us down.
And it lowered your DA, like we just talked about.
This is the most insipid fight I've ever seen. Don't let her get away with that.
Good old DA.
Don't let her get away with that, and certainly don't let her get away with that in under 50 minutes.
All this a show.
I know, right? So, ideally, this fight should be over in 3 shots. Sometimes it takes 4. And there we go. That's the first boss and the hardest boss.
GG.
Thank you. Unfortunately, this whole second leg of the game involves no gunplay. For those of you who are familiar with the main game, you might recognize the scenario, but we are walking up to the dollhouse, and as such, we have to engage in games. I know. Games in our games.
Wait, the games we're playing? We're going to be playing games?
Quickly, even.
We
Imagine
can't,
it.
We can't do that. Not on GDQ Hotfix. We can't do that.
No. That's unacceptable. Not even once.
Jay, you remember how I said there's going to be shenanigans?
I really like this segment. Much like the base game, this has grown on me to be one of my favorite portions of the game, which I didn't expect in either case. Mostly because I am not a fan of enemies that can devour you. Let's put it that way. So this is your warning. There's going to be some shenanigans in here, and we're not going to be able to defend ourselves.
Something seems...
Wait, where'd your gun go?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's in my pocket.
Oh, okay. I too often keep my shotgun in my pockets? Question mark?
Yeah. These are cargo pants. Didn't you know they have such good
Oh,
pockets?
that explains it. That explains it.
Oh, look, the crystal we need to get rid of our powers. It's definitely going to work this time, right?
Uh-huh.
Playtime. You don't need that junk.
Oh, who's that?
Hey,
I don't know.
stuff.
That can't be our next antagonist. No.
Surely not.
It would be too soon. It's almost as if there's a scary kid in here somewhere.
In my horror game? What?
I know, in this economy, at this time of year, localized entirely on this channel?
Can you believe it?
I can.
Yeah, same.
All that work for a pair of scissors, though. I can't forgive that.
I mean, would you rather they cut this part out?
No. I mean, unless the scissors were involved and I get to do it myself.
Yeah, then you cut it out.
Much like this.
Gotta say, doing surgery in the dark, actually pretty impressive.
Yeah. You know, Rose has been training really hard alongside the rest of the Hound Wolf squad. For those of you who don't know, that's Chris Redfield's post BSAA, post Umbrella Blue, like ragtag group. She's been vibing with them for like 19 years. And so, of course, she's picked up a few things.
Again? What now?
I do wish we could have seen Chris Redfield as an old man.
I mean, it's not too late.
I mean, true.
We have no idea what Resident Evil 9 is going to be about, really.
True. We just know it's not about Ethan.
Oh. Can I get a F in chat for Ethan? I miss him already.
F's in chat for Ethan. People always like dogged on Ethan for being quote unquote annoying, but like, I don't know, man. He was like a loving father and a loving husband, and he just wanted to protect his family. Do you think that's annoying?
Okay, we're gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna get on my Ethan soapbox right now, okay? Ethan is the best Resident Evil protagonist because he's a bioweapon that doesn't realize he's a bioweapon, and the only thing he wants to do is be a really good husband and father. Why? Because he's a bioweapon that was literally made by another bioweapon to be the best daddy she could ever have. He's just doing his job. He's just doing his job. And he's an IT guy by training. What do you expect him to do?
Hallelujah!
He's just a little guy, and he's doing his best, and I really just want to give him a hug. He'd probably smell a little musky, but I don't think that would stop me.
He'd probably smell more moldy than musky.
Yeah, that's fair. He'd probably smell like the bottom of this well.
Probably.
This is so creepy.
I also have not mentioned where Mia is at all.
But she's right back there.
Canonically, yeah, she's right there. Mommy's gonna be all around us down here, but the actual Mia, she's still alive in this scenario, but we don't know where she is, and neither does Rose, and that's never really explained, which I find very interesting.
RE9? What?
Yeah, who knows? It could be anything. We could even get Jake Wesker back,
Oh?
Capcom's favorite protagonist.
The return of Troy Baker to Resident Evil? What? That would actually be pretty cool to have Jake Wesker back in.
I wouldn't hate that. That would be pretty fun.
Because he's attached to kind of the black sheep of the RE family. So,
Yeah. And since we're in like an era where Capcom is exploring like what is it like to actually live as a bioweapon, right? That story would be really interesting and timely.
I mean, I could make the case that we're living in the era where Capcom is like, what if we try to replicate PT?
You know, I didn't want to say it, but the 7 and 8 arc really does take strong influence from the PT brand of gameplay.
Ooh, someone's directing a question at me. How did Lady D not immediately spit out the mold juice when she sucked from Ethan's hand?
He's a little stale.
Yeah, she even says, this one's going bad or something like that. And so there's like, it's funny because they don't retcon RE7 at all, but they clarify so many things about RE7 in this one in kind of a very smart way. And there's like little tiny hints around where if you know, you'll know the hints, but if you don't know, you'll never catch them. It's very smartly written, to their credit.
Yeah, and those hints are not exclusive to Village either. Like, those hints are there in 7 as well as to what's going on. If you go through the entire arc of Ethan's life and his family story, you get to see the entire unfolding of it very subtly laid out. It's so cool.
Yeah. I've heard it described that RE Village made RE7 a better game, and I would actually wholly agree with that.
Yeah. Do you like Weeping Angels in your games, though?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is actually my favorite part of this DLC is the Weeping Angel section because I just think it's so cool. It's Weeping Angels is a mechanic that's not overdone, but it has gotten kind of old just because it is like the novelty kind of wore off after it had been done a few times. But they did it so well in this one that like I totally forgive it because I just think it's a really well done segment.
Yeah, I like it a lot. There's also something very fun that happens with the run. You just hit her with a spinneroonie and she gets out of the way. So watch.
Did you
Beautiful.
Just 360 no shot your mom?
I did. I 360 no scope, no bulleted my mom, and I'll do it again. Watch. She's gonna do it in this room. I'm gonna walk right up to her. I'm gonna hit her with the 360 no scope. Boom, boom, and we're out of here.
Well done.
No guns needed. All crosshairs.
Crosshair mentioned.
Crosshair mentioned. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better. Welcome to the Little Nightmares segment of the game, where we are quite small, and Mom is still quite big. I did mention the threat of being eaten.
Oh, jeez.
This is another segment where Deathless becomes very important. There are small dolls, there are large dolls, and a very big mommy. Not the one you're thinking of. I'm sorry, Lady D is still not here, but we make do with what we have.
I'd never heard this part described as Little Nightmares before, but now that you said that, I totally see it because like you have the lights that you have to avoid. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, it actually makes a ton of sense.
With also like the music box style background music for this segment, it's giving.
Also, Little Nightmares 3 comes out soon. TM.
Ooh, so excited. So, because we are defenseless here in the dollhouse and we are quite small, we have to use a combination of stealth and distraction to get by enemies here. These smaller dolls, if they attack us, it's not the end of the world. We can sustain several hits, but they will continue to attack us, which is frustrating. When it comes to Mommy, though, it's one and done. If she gets us, it's over. Luckily, you'll notice that our ability pips in the bottom right are still present, which means we will be getting the ability to use our powers soon. We just gotta get the right herbs to restock that.
Just have to get past.
I'm gonna attempt a cycle skip here, but again, it's super precise, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. So we're gonna go for the cycle. There's exactly like 3 pixels where if you aim at the butt of the doll sitting there blocking the flower, you can hit the flower through the doll. But instead, we distract them and we shmove on by. Now, I'm gonna focus up for a minute while I deal with Big Mommy in the next room. Dane, if there's anything you'd like to tell our audience today.
Absolutely.
Now's a great time.
Folks, if you're enjoying Crosshair today, you can catch up on all the past episodes of Crosshair and all of our other GDQ Hotfix shows like Express Lane, Speedruns from the Crypt, Parallel Universe, Awfully Silly, Creature Corner, all of them over at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/gamesdonequick. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello from the past. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and maybe come join us over at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick and catch the runs live. We would love to have you over here.
Beautiful. Aside from the first boss fight, this is the riskiest room in the entire run. Because what we have to do is activate this mold bulb while not getting grabbed by Mommy. She did not aggro, which is beautiful. It is so easy for her to turn around and spot you there and then just come over and snag you and put her in her mouth. It's not a fun time when that happens, and will also invalidate your run. So I'm really glad that we got that cycle skip. If she had forced us to take evasive measures, we would have had to run around, and that's an additional 30 seconds of just running around to the other door.
You do know that canonically makes Rose a chicken tender, right?
Delicious. Welcome to the Layers of Fear segment of the game.
It's the most like mocking tone possible. Dear friends.
No friends. The big faces crack me up. And it also really reminds me of that part of Resident Evil 6 in Ada's campaign with the big faces. If you know, you know.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Some kind of party?
It's been so long since I played RE6.
It's a good game. People will disagree, but they're wrong.
It's my favorite Call of Duty.
It's one of my favorite co-op experiences. It's so fun.
I wonder if she'll look like me when she grows up.
What's that voice? Is that Dad?
Okay, luckily we're getting a blast from the past here from our ghost dad, who has definitely not been helping us this entire time. Chat, no, that would never happen. Why would we get help from our ghost dad in a realm of memories where he would definitely be remembered? These aren't his memories anyway, right?
Drown.
No, that would make too much sense.
Forgot about that voice line. It startled me. You will drown.
What are you talking?
Shout out to Evelyn. She's so good.
You are beyond worthless.
I love that they brought her back as an antagonist too.
Agreed.
It's so fitting that like the Mutamycete, even though it never really met her, would remember her. And that
she's
she
the
would
one
come
that,
for Rose.
yeah, and she's also the one that kind of ties 7 to this game. Like there's a cutscene where she specifically kind of ties everything together. Like she's sort of like the anchor point between both games.
Yeah, she's the one that explains Ethan's circumstance to him. She's like, "What's up? This is what your life now. I'm not even sorry." Good news, bad news. Evelyn is our next boss. And we're gonna fight her in one of the most scripted cycle-based boss fights I've ever experienced. As long as you nail every point where she spawns, there is no way for her to succeed. We're gonna dunk on her so hard, Dane.
He said good news, bad news. Evelyn's the first boss. I wanted to be like, is that the good news or the bad news?
Yes.
Girl.
So we're gonna get our next power up. This one doesn't give us a new ability, but it does give us an extra pip on our bar. Can you pick that up, please? Thank you.
I swear that
Okay.
ability bar just looks like a map.
Right? So Evie has the power of farts in here, I know. But she's just gonna fart at us a lot. And if we point at her, she farts faster. And once she stops, we can point at her again. And that's the fight. We're just gonna look at her, we're gonna point at her, she's gonna fart, and that's it.
We were supposed to be a family.
So she's gonna come over here, we're gonna point at her, she'll fart 3 times.
We're stupid old Rose.
Off we go. She's gonna spawn over here behind me.
Die here.
1. Then she's gonna go over here and do 3.
If you'd never been born, it would have been perfect.
Okay, here's where the fight actually gets interesting. 2 bulbs will spawn, and it's blocking access to her up top. So we'll get one here. We're gonna crouch while she does her little farts up there. Girl, you're being stinky. Stop it. All right, now we can get up there. Narratively, this is the point where you're supposed to start being like, wait, is this my ghost dad that's helping us? Who is this person? Because up until this point, Rose believes that the magical gold text that's been helping us out has been an angel named Michael. Plot twist, that's not the case.
You're worthless.
Spoilers.
I know, it's not angels, it's Resident Evil. All right, we're out of here. We're feeling simple and clean, and we're on our way to the last leg of the game, the shortest leg of the game. We have guns again. Aren't you happy?
Yay, we qualify for Crosshair again.
I have to keep
Yay!
Well, actually, technically, the runs don't have to have guns in them. They have to have bullets.
That's true. And I'm very
So-
excited for Punch Uncle later on tonight.
Right, we do have Punch Uncle coming up later.
Where the hell am I?
Welcome to
Is this place?
Bloodborne. This is the remaster everyone wanted. I'm sorry.
Wait, this is Bloodborne on PC?
Yeah, didn't you know? We're here.
We had State of Play earlier, and I swear every State of Play is just Bloodborne PC. Every
I know.
single one. I'm just like,
It's-
yep, it's gonna happen this time. You got it.
It's either Bloodborne PC or Silksong.
Yeah.
But now we have Silksong Hope, and so, you know, they gotta give us the other one too.
Stronger than before.
Either Bloodborne PC, Silksong, or Deltarune.
True.
Wait
That would
a
never
minute.
come out, would it?
Never. Not
No, not
today.
Not even today. All right, so I'm going to stun all of these Shadows of Rose. They're not looking very good. They're a little worse for wear. And we're just going to keep them off our back while this Mega Mycete Bud does its thing. Luckily, I have 13 rounds of shotgun ammo, which is more than enough for the final boss fight. We will not need our pistol again if we're lucky. We do not have any pipe bombs for safety because I was feeling frisky and I used them both on the first boss fight. But we are going to get a nice chunk of ammo in here and a few herbs to level up our abilities with. If you recognize this room, this is Miranda's lab. Miranda is technically the reason for all of this. The deep lore is she wanted her daughter back, as most horror moms do. And fast forward, we're here now. That's all you need to know.
There's that
But
feeling again.
luckily, there's a crystal at the end of this hallway.
Must be the
And when I
crystal.
pick it up, I will definitely,
Almost there.
absolutely, not a joke this time, lose my superhuman abilities. But there is a plot twist and I'm not going to spoil it because you'll see soon enough. It needs no commentary. So Dane, if there's anything you'd like to share with the audience, now's the last really good time to do that for this run.
Absolutely. Yeah, folks, after the run's over, not right this moment, but after the run's over, if you're curious about what's coming up on Hotfix, you can check out this week's schedule and explore a full season lineup at gdq.gg/hotfix. You can also type !schedule into the chat to get a bot command that will give you the link to this week's schedule. You can see what's coming up a little bit later this week, including the Ant Online event that's coming up tomorrow. Hey, who's that?
Hey, that's our ghost dad, Ethan Winters, who definitely...
Ethan?
That's Ethan. He's definitely been here the whole time. He's here. And notice how he's not wearing his signature coat, because if we hadn't picked the fancy Street Wolf outfit, he would have given it to us there.
Aww.
I know. Best dad. So technically we have no abilities here. There's gonna be some cutscene magic. Don't worry. Once we get out into the blinding white light and skip the cutscene out there, we will be our best, most powered up, most magical girl, because we will have to save our dad, Ethan Winters, who is definitely not dead right now.
Flashbang?
All right, this is the final boss, Mother Miranda. I bet you didn't see this one coming. I'm just gonna Baja Blast her with this tree of mold that I can make now for some reason.
I think they just might.
And if I'm lucky, I'm gonna keep on cycle, and we're just gonna keep Baja Blasting her. It's 2. I need to do this 4 times. If we execute perfectly, she will never do any of her attack cycles.
What is this?
This is Crosshair.
This is Pride Month!
This is Pride Month.
Incredible.
Oh man, we'll have to do a Pride themed episode for next episode of Crosshair. I don't even know how we're gonna do that. We'll have to figure something out.
I believe.
We'll make it happen.
Oh.
Rainbow colored bullets or something. I don't know.
So it sounds like you're gonna get fear with the colorful crosshairs. And we nailed this fight, by the way. That's a perfect 4 cycle skip on Miranda.
Well
when
done.
she gets up, she was gonna say the phrase, "I shall finish this." And then we're gonna get thrown into the most beautiful scene in the entire game. Behold the beauty of the mold dimension. Look how cool this is.
It is pretty cool.
The game's gonna beg us to heal. We're gonna ignore it. Because all we have to do is run over, smack her with this tree. Time is coming up very soon. We're gonna have to run over here, point at her, and she's gonna monologue at us. When we hit the cutscene at the end of her monologue, that will be time.
You truly would have been the perfect vessel for my Eva.
My Eva!
I'm not a goddamn vessel. Not some stupid copy. I'm me, Rose. And you're
And here we go. Time is here. There we go.
GG!
Thank you. So that's Resident Evil Village, Shadows of Rose, the story DLC for Resident Evil Village. We finished it in a lovely, delightful 49:34, which is only 4 seconds longer than my current PB.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Almost a PB.
That was a beautiful run. Thank you for having me, Dane.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Before you leave, plug yourself. Tell everybody where we can find you on the internet.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Big Scared. I'm a queer variety caster here on Twitch. I play a lot of scary games. I speedrun a lot of scary games, but I also do a wide variety of other things too. You might also know me for rhythm games. You might know me as the events lead for the Clock Tower stream team, which is a horror-focused stream team. You might also know me as the lead admin for Binary Breakers. which is a really cool organization for folks who are within, between, and outside of the gender binary, specifically in challenge gaming, speed running, randos, brackets, bingos. If you're a fancy gamer and you are somewhere in the gender divergent spectrum, you're welcome here. Come talk to me. I would love to talk to you about this. But you can also find me here, there, everywhere as Big Scared, or I'm Big Scared with no spaces or punctuation.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for being on the show and showing us Shadows of Rose. It was a pleasure to have you here again and to engage in the many shenanigans that we engaged in.
This was completely normal, and I thank you for having me.
We are so normal. We're so normal. All right. Thank you very much, folks. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to be back with Crosshair, more Crosshair in just a little bit with Resident Evil 7, Not a Hero with Captain. Welcome back to Crosshair here on the GDQ Hotfix. We're going to continue our romp through the Resident Evil DLCs with RE7 Not a Hero Professional with Captain Ezekiel. Captain Ezekiel, how are you, sir?
Dane, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on again. And hi, everyone. Like they said, I'm Captain Ezekiel. I've ran RE7 on here maybe once or twice, a few times, potentially. I've been here before. And anytime I run it, someone has been on my comms for me, maybe once or twice as well, a few times, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Yiddle. Yeah, I'm kind of the partner in crime when it comes to commentating these RE7 runs for Zeke. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. This one's short but sweet.
Yeah. Now, so Not a Hero, before we start, is the canonical immediate DLC following Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Super fun. We play as Chris Redfield. Doesn't look like Chris Redfield, but we're going to ignore that part. But we play as Chris Redfield, and we're basically trying to find Lucas. So, game will start as soon as I skip the first cutscene here. So time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, we're playing new game, Not a Hero. So new game is basically just means we don't get any new game plus items, no bonus stuff. And we're playing on professional, which is the hardest difficulty. Kind of like Madhouse in the full game of Resident Evil 7. A lot of stuff changes. A lot more enemies. Normally when you play Not a Hero, you actually start with your weapons already. We would have a pistol and we would have a shotgun. We don't get any of that. We actually only have a knife for about half of the run, which is spooky because everything is very, very scary in Not a Hero.
Yeah, we get introduced to some enemies a little earlier that in the other difficulties we wouldn't have to deal with until we were kind of equipped to actually dispatch them. So a lot of this is just kind of squeezing past enemies. You just saw Zeke go into 30 FPS. You're going to see that a lot. The RE engine has a lot of FPS memes, and 30 FPS basically makes Ethan, or Chris in this case, slippery and allows him to slip past enemies easier.
Yeah. It's a very interesting mix of a lot of different mechanics from the main game to this one. The thing about this one that's unique to Not a Hero is the ability to perfect block. Not a thing in the full game of Resident Evil 7, but if we were to time a block within, like I want to say a lenience of like 10 to 15 frames or something of an attack, we'll get a perfect block, and that applies to bombs. And so RE7 also has cheap shotting. And it'll kind of explain what that is here in a moment. But this cutscene, this is Lucas. He escaped after the main game of Resident Evil 7. We had to find him. Our job is here to get him and save our soldiers. We didn't do a very good job at that last part, but we basically have to find this guy and stop what he's doing, which is very, very bad news.
Yeah, I was going to say, we found him. DLC over. We did it. But yeah, cheap shotting is going to be a term that you may hear a lot during this run. Basically, enemies have a sort of frame perfect attack that you really can't block no matter what you do. It's even if you tried to block for it in advance, there's a chance that they'll just hit through the block and get you anyway. So we're hoping for not a lot of that. And these cheap shots really hurt in professional. So, you know, realistically, you can only sustain one, maybe two. Nice. That guy did not cheap shot.
Oh. What were you saying?
He late shot.
Commentator's curse.
Well, that wasn't a cheap shot. At least.
Yeah, he did do a normal attack there. There is a thing about cheap shotting, and we won't go too deep into it, but if a certain amount of enemies on the hardest difficulties don't cheap shot you, it's kind of like a cycle. You are eventually going to get cheap shot. If one doesn't, it's a high chance that the next one will, and so on and so forth until eventually you eat a cheap shot or you block it or, or whatever it may be. In this situation, that wasn't a cheap shot, but it may have interrupted the cycle. If I am going to get cheap shot, it's going to be this guy we're going to run past here in just a minute.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They did make like a timer for the hits, it seems like. So getting hit early sometimes can be good because you won't get hit later. And sometimes you can tell when you're overdue for a cheap shot.
Sure.
But that was pretty nice.
Yeah, they're all very nice. I think that guy hitting me upstairs probably did something about that.
Yeah. So coming up here, we're for the most part we're going to be trying to save our dudes. We just passed one of the dudes in the cage to our left, and Lucas has kind of, being the jigsaw mastermind he is, he's kind of trapped all of Chris's dudes. And the goal here is we're sort of finding key items to then unlock areas to get to our dudes. And this DLC is sort of split out into 3 sort of major areas that we're going to revisit later. And there's quite a lot of enemies in each of the each area has its own set of like pain points. So a lot of sort of quick thinking and reactive game.
We're gonna actually reload that checkpoint, and the reason is because if I get hit there, I was just a little bit late on my guard. The mama molded, or this big white molded's pathing will actually get kind of broken. So I want her to be in a certain spot. So we're gonna try that again.
Nice. So that little arm flick that Chris just did, that's the perfect parry animation. You're going to see that a few times. And the pathing here is actually very specific. We're trying to bait the enemies a certain way so that we don't have to deal with them while we set up this little crank puzzle.
Kind of taking a gamble here. The mama molded was in a weird spot. That's okay, buddy.
Go.
Okay, we may have to just load this one more time. Like,
slightly
that is really unlucky. For some reason, that molded did not come down, and the molded down below kind of pushed us forward. So, promise, no more checkpoint retries, hopefully.
Should mention, unlike Madhouse, Professional does get some checkpoints. They're still kind of far and few between. Like, you only get them at the beginning of areas, even in normal. But unlike Madhouse, it's not like we're going to get sent all the way back to the very beginning of the game. Yeah, probably a good play.
That is so tragic.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, wow.
No!
Okay, fellas. One moment.
Professional, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't do
You mean this
it. Don't
difficulty's
do
hard?
it.
Oh, no.
What are we doing here, guys? What? Okay, last retry. I promise. 30-minute estimate for a reason, guys. Oh my goodness. I've ran RE7 so many times, and Not a Hero just as a good amount as well. And sometimes it be like that.
Yeah.
You want some of this to happen in a marathon setting, just so people see just how difficult these runs actually are.
Yeah, think about how boring it would have been if he just like first tried that, didn't even get touched by any enemies, just chill,
It's far more entertaining this way.
Yeah, this is far more accurate to how like PB attempts.
This is not real.
Oh no.
Okay,
That second nade did nothing apparently.
I'm trying to figure out why the mama molded is not moving. We're actually stuck there because we have no weapon here. Apologize in advance with this code's potentially overestimate because of this. This
Content, baby.
This is so silly because the mama molded is like not moving the way that she should. Maybe now. The idea is to get her set up so she jumps down. If she falls down, we're doing great. I think she fell down. Game is finally playable. All right.
There we go.
If this guy walks up on me, that's okay. Okay, there we go. We're back from our brief intermission of showing you guys what this area is like.
At least it's a fast retry, honestly.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky for that.
Yeah. Probably a good time to mention, we used to play on the censored version of this game. I was gonna say, I don't know if that would change the AI necessarily. I wouldn't put it past Capcom.
I wouldn't either. I think maybe I was just doing my block incorrectly or something. It's very, very, very specific to hit that block a certain way so that doesn't happened so badly. But now you guys see what it's like to run professional. Now you know.
Hey, it works out nicely. The last run came in like almost 10 minright underestimate. You go 10 minutes overestimate.
Perfect.
Everything balances out.
Balance it back out.
It sounds awesome on paper, but it really doesn't. All right, yeah. So go ahead and explain this, Little.
Yeah, in the censored version, in specifically the Korean censored version of this game, this scene is just far too gruesome for it to be shown. So instead of having to watch any of this scene, you just run by this cage and pick up the key. It's just already on the ground. You're good. You get your key item and you proceed. In the uncensored version, we get this like absolutely gruesome, heinous saw trap. Bit of a gore warning.
Is it a little bit? I'll look away a little bit so it's not too bad. But you get the idea of what's going on.
Single most violent thing in RE7, main game or DLC, I would say.
It's pretty brutal.
And there's the key item.
Yeah, this is what we need. We got our filter. Basically, the air is poison, and we need this filter to kind of be able to breathe. But Chris is currently 0 for 2 on saving his dudes. Not doing great. But we still want more. Potentially, we can find. One of the most challenging parts about professional and why also that previous area was so bad is, like I said, we still don't have a weapon. We have no gun. We have nothing to use other than grenades and our knife. And the knife in this is pretty bad.
Yeah, and to clarify, it's not like, oh, we're speedrunners, we didn't pick up the shotgun because we're gonna pick it. You don't get the shotgun until here, which you have to do the previous area for. So it is dev intended that you run through that section with nothing but a couple grenades and your knife, which is pretty rough, honestly.
Yeah, it can be a bit silly, but I do appreciate it happening sometimes to kind of really show how difficult this stuff can really be. And I just ran this category as well not too long ago on the hotfix for Asuka, I want to say, for Express Lane, and it didn't have a problem there. So Dane, what that tells me, are you?
I'm cursed! Yay!
No, yeah, it just be that way. Hardest difficulty speedruns are not easy. They're hardest difficulty for a reason. And sometimes they go south, even for someone like me who has over 4,000 hours in Resident Evil 7. But
4,000?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about.
Holy moly!
Let's
it's a hard one.
not mention it.
Yeah. So right now, the whole objective of what we're doing is we are going to get some special ammo and some night vision goggles. The ammo we're getting is called ramrods. That's what will let us kill those white variant molded that are here.
Our ramrod.
Car ramrod.
Yeah, so we just passed our first white variant molded. And I don't think that one spawns in the other difficulties, right? They don't show it to you until after you have the ammo necessary to kill them, which makes sense. But in professional, they're like, here, check this out. You know that enemy that you can't kill with regular ammo or bullets? Here he is.
Yeah. And the worst part is they're giving you ammo for a gun you don't have. It's like the worst part.
Yeah, we don't have the pistol yet to use the ramrods at all. These little creatures, exclusive to Not a Hero, they kind of just hop around. They're a bit of a meme. And doing a delicate little dance here to try and keep them off of the elevator as best as possible. Nice.
And we're going to do a little bit of menuing. We can ditch the knife now. We're no longer going to need that. We're about to come up on, even though the knife is still technically equipped, we're going to finally come up now on getting our gun, our pistol. And we still have to get past a lot of enemies, though. This is why professional is also kind of a pain. You can see why, without like extensive knowing of the speedrun strats, why this is a nightmare. We got 2 turrets here that are going to just blast us a bit. We have to be careful. There's a big molded here. We're going to perfectly parry him, and then we're going to grab that flashbang and this heal. Now, this is where a lot of people die in this game, just casually, is there's a little tunnel here. 3 turrets and 2 crawler molded. We're going to throw our nade, switch to 30. Probably going to get hit at least once, and that's okay. That's going to blow up the turrets, kill the other molded, and I should be able to go back to variable and skip right past the rest of them. That area is super scary.
The timing on that is very specific because the grenade needs to be out in time that the turrets don't kill you, because it's practically an insta-kill once they start riddling you with bullets.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. And then you have the two
Okay.
crawlers in the way too.
I got so lost in this area when I played through this.
Oh, dude, it is such a confusing. You have to go back and forth, and you know it supports Little's claim that Resident Evil 7 is a Metroidvania because
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one
a little bit,
especially.
yeah.
it's really this, and in the main game you kind of go back and forth. You get really confused. And now we have night vision, so we can see this bomb here. And there's gonna be these lasers, but then there's a normal bomb you can kind of barely see. They did this on purpose. And we're gonna just block it so we don't die. Heal, and then we're gonna go in here, and now we get our pistol finally.
Tanking an explosive with his bare arms.
Yeah, just like Ethan.
Yeah, it's true. But Chris looked cooler when he did it.
It really does. And he doesn't lose any momentum when he gets to do the perfect block too. That's the best part about it, and I wish we had that in like the main game, but we do not.
Another one. Nice. Yeah, a little cart puzzle here just to progress you to the next area. It's not a difficult puzzle. Like, I don't think there's even any wrong moves you can really make. But
Yeah, it just won't let you if you try to push something the wrong way.
Yeah, if you try to push it the wrong way, it's like, nah. Think about it more.
So yeah, now in Lucas fashion, only on professional do we have these. We have bombs all over this room. He loves to just plant bombs for us to run into.
These are such a good meme, casually.
Oh yeah, it's super good.
Because presumably you've done the normal difficulty and you come in here thinking everything's cool.
Oh, no way.
You just get over.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, buddy, let's take a deep breath here. It's not that serious.
Those crawlers attack so fast in professional.
Time for the fun room, Niddle.
Yeah. So we're coming up on the super fun laser death room.
Jeez. Forgot about this.
Yeah. So if if Zeke or these little creepy dudes touch any of these lasers, everything explodes. It's an insta death. The room explodes. It's kind of a funny animation, but in a speedrun setting, it's not a very funny thing to happen. So Zeke's gonna come over here and deactivate this. And what's interesting is these explosives are still technically active, like the lasers aren't on, but if Zeke were to accidentally shoot one of those little boxes, the whole room would still explode.
And I have.
So, yeah, it has happened. It's like trying to shoot the little crawly spider dudes, and they hop right in the way of like one of the explosives. You'll blow up the room.
Yeah, it's a pretty spooky room to do fast because a lot of the times you can try to min-max it and try to get up and sprint in certain areas, but the second, he jumps around a bit.
Yeah, it's very much a gamble of like how fast do you want to do it versus do you want the risk of exploding? And
That's crazy.
he went for it, dude. Finally getting the shotgun, by the way.
Yeah, now we have the shotgun.
This is the loadout that you would start with on the other difficulties, and we're only getting it now, sort of at the kind of midway point.
Yeah, it's a pretty. Oh, this is our third guy we were supposed to save. Third dude. Didn't work out again. Chris is not very good at this.
Doing much saving of people. Like, he doesn't seem very heroic in this DLC.
He really is not a hero.
Not a hero. Yeah.
3 of my men dead because of you. This ends. And it ends.
And all the while, Lucas just like keeps calling just to taunt him. It's a pretty good DLC.
It's pretty funny because like all these horrible things happening, and sudden you got an incoming Skype call from Lucas Baker.
Yeah. The Discord call sound.
This is our first and like only like technical checkpoint retry where we use it for speed purposes. Not like the 17 I did earlier to finish the first part of the game, but we have a retry here to save time, which skips us to the top of that ladder. I'm gonna try to hit a collateral shot. Nice, I did. And then hopefully not miss this fella. All right. I have to get to the store before this fat mullet gets to me, and I have to turn around and block him in time. There we go.
It's a little hard to see on the UI, but there is a timer at the top of the screen. Worth mentioning, it's an extremely generous timer in a speedrun setting. However, this is kind of like the escape the ship part of Metroid Fusion. But yeah, we're going to be coming through all of the areas that we were previously in. There's all new enemies in all those areas, and the main goal here is just don't really get stuck, because it has a snowball effect. You get stuck you get hit by one guy, you get stopped, and then you get hit by more dudes, and it just goes south quick.
Yeah, this area specifically is really bad because there's a lot of white molded variants. Like this one right here, they're pretty slow. You can run past, but this one has a crawler right next to him. So if I get hung up, I could die pretty easily.
Briefly mentioned it, but the ramrod ammo, you'll see in the lower right, Zeke has two types of ammo. The ramrod ammo is the only type of ammo that can actually kill these white variant molded. However, the ramrod ammo also does insane damage to the bosses that we're going to be coming up to. So as much as we'd like to like just deal with these dudes and kill them, we kind of need to save this ammo. It's like every shot is critical really here. And we're coming up to the Mama Molded fight.
Time to get our revenge.
Good ammo drops. So this fight's going to go pretty quick. We're going to start off with a neuro grenade and then a regular grenade, and we're going to do ramrods before she goes down. Now 12 shotgun to the head, and the hitbox is kind of finicky for this. You'll see like there's a specific animation of the blood splatter when you get the right headshot. So just dumping into her with the ammo. We're going to back up and reload the shotgun after throwing that other nade. And once she's staggered again, we're going to do 7 shotgun and then the famous Chris Boulder Punch move, if all goes well. Nice. And we are going to finish with 4 ramrod shots. Those are our special bullets. You can see the white smoke. And that's the Mama Molded fight.
Nice. I thought one of those shots missed. Like hit her in the shoulder, but I guess it didn't. The spray on the shotgun is so bad that sometimes it works in your favor. So, you know, we take what we can get there. This run is very backloaded, right? This is a very backloaded run. Even though you saw at the very beginning where I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off with no weapons and trying not to die to the enemies. And obviously that's also super, super awful. But it's backloaded in a way where we have back-to-back challenging sections, like the Mama Molded there. Now we're going into the vault, which is also known in the Resident Evil series as the cabin section. Every game has at least one where we sit there and fight off waves of enemies. But when you do this on the hardest difficulty, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, the cabin section is made fast by the fact that and the previous set of enemies need to be dead for the next set of enemies to spawn in. So there's always a set amount of enemies that we have to kill. But if the death animations of those enemies in like the previous wave are still going on, the next set of enemies can't spawn in. So you're going to see Zeke in the vault section taking some really specific shots and sort of timing his shots till after iframes have ended, just so that he A, doesn't waste any ammo, and B, gets the fastest possible death animation. And it's one of those things where like you kind of see it and it's hard to really see what's being optimized, but if you've ever ran this category, which I have, then you know what a slow vault feels like, and it's like miserable. Like the like Oscar award-winning death animations. It takes like 10 seconds.
It's bad. It's so
10
bad.
seconds between phases. You're sitting there like, who is still alive? And like nobody's alive. They're just wriggling around on the ground. It's like so yeah, it's a pretty hectic section, and it's so hard to do this section.
I hate this room so much. I can't even tell you.
It is bad.
I spent hours on this room on professional trying to beat this.
Happy to report we got bad RNG and shotgun drops, so it's gonna get extra exciting here in a moment.
Ooh.
So opening up with a flame round just to soften all these dudes, and then the name of the game here is going to be legs and heads for pretty much all the variants that we're going to be seeing. So trying to get them down on the ground with a leg shot, and then trying to pop their head off with a headshot, and that is the fastest death animation for these regular dudes. You can see that dude kind of flopping around. That's what what an amazing death animation looks like. And then we get, of course, our white variant molded, which can only be taken out by the ramrod. So you're going to see a ramrod shot there. Nice catch, dude.
He's still alive, though.
Oh, my God.
That section took intentionally a little bit slower because I just used my regular ammo to kill things instead of the shotgun because I need to hold on to my ammo a little bit.
Yeah, good play. So yeah, very important that Zeke sort of waits for these dudes to come out. Like your immediate response would be like, oh, I gotta shoot them as fast as possible. They have crazy iframes, so they can actually be at like 1 HP but you're effectively doing no damage to them. You can't kill them because they're in their iframe state.
This guy's crazy.
That's crazy. Oh, wow. He got the hit in after you shot him. That's wild. Cool.
Last bullet. All right, nice.
Yeah, well done. So last two dudes here, we're gonna get two fat molded, and they're pretty easy to take care of with the ramrod shots here. It is worth mentioning the ramrod like insta kills just about everything. If we had significantly more of this ammo, this would be a cakewalk, you know.
Yeah, in a New Game Plus setting, you can blast through this really fast.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. But that's the cabin section. That was pretty good given the backups.
Yeah, given the fact that I had no shotgun ammo walking into it, I decided to just take it a little bit slow in the first wave so that the last waves were not as bad, because the first waves are like 3 set enemies, but then later on you get multiple crawlers, as you saw, and the white variants. So it was better to save the shotgun for that instead.
Yeah.
And we received another Skype call.
Yeah, very, very backloaded here. So, like, we've gone from the Mama Molded section running straight into the vault, and now we're going straight into our final boss, which is going to be Lucas. So it's, you know, you think you made it out of one section, you're like, I still have some ammo left, and then it's like, oh, there's another boss right after this, isn't there?
Yeah, thankfully, Not a Hero, they had the foresight to be like, yeah, we know you just probably spent so much of your ammo in Mama Molded in the vault, so they give us quite a good loadout before Lucas. And Lucas is an incredibly complex boss, like under the surface, about how he behaves, how his iframes work and stuff, but he has a very cool cycle-based fight that I actually really enjoy a lot. He's one of my favorite RE bosses to fight.
Yeah, cool design just in general, too. So Lucas thinks that we're dead right now. He thinks that we blew up in the vault, because that was his, like, backup plan. So we're actually about to go jump scare Lucas. Just in the plot of things, this is no longer about Chris and his men. This is about stopping Lucas from whatever he's doing, sending information to the connections about Evie and all that, and also just kind of killing him.
Yeah, they wanted him alive, and Chris was not happy about that at the beginning, but now it's like, oh no, we have to actually kill him, and Chris is so ecstatic about it.
Yeah, he's stoked on that, yeah. Nice little Jabate turret there, by the way. It makes the sound and locks on, but it doesn't have any ammo, so it's a pretty good little jump scare at first play.
Yeah, now we're waiting for Lucas to do all of his monologue here. He's talking to us from some sort of intercom, but he's here. He's hanging out. He's close by.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good thing they stocked this arena with a lot of stuff, because otherwise this fight is pretty tough.
Yeah, we basically just sit here and we chill, and Lucas is gonna show up. We got a little bit of a minute or so until the actual fight starts. Lucas thinks he's gonna beat us with a knife. That's just no shot ever.
He's doing the Counter-Strike knife inspect animation. I don't know what that wasn't. That wasn't knifing.
But we killed him. We won. We did it.
Yay!
Yay!
It's over.
It's over.
GG.
We did it. He has an LCS hoodie on. He really likes League of Legends. That's why he's the way he is.
Just shut up and accept it, Lucas. Love that, wouldn't you?
Oh no, he's melting.
He's turning into mold. His sweatshirt's melting too.
Oh my god, his sweatshirt was molded all along. So of course, Resident Evil fashion, we need to get a monster at the end.
Yeah, it's like you shoot a guy and then he turns into a big monster guy. It's like every game in the history of Resident Evil.
Right? Yeah.
But this is a pretty hard fight, so Noodle's gonna explain what's going on so I don't accidentally die.
Yeah, pretty specific what we're going to be doing here. And the spots where we're shooting are really important, because basically Lucas is going to be revealing his weird little freaky heart to us, and shots kind of need to land on that heart, similar to Mama Molded with her head. So opening up, you're going to see Zeke pushing Lucas to get him into the right position, and he's going to start off with a flame round, and that's actually a shot on him during his iframes, that first shot. And then we're going to do a bunch of shots to the heart here. You see that blood sort of splashing animation? That's the animation that we want to see. If you don't see that, you've actually just hit him on his body. Now he's going to jump up, and Zeke's positioning is actually really important here. He's going to wait for that little spear move and then go for a headshot and another flame round. and then kind of hang out in this corner. And if done correctly,
Where is he going?
Yeah, if done correctly, Lucas is gonna hop down in a way that he's in a position where once we get through this next phase, he'll jump straight back up onto that little electrical box. I think now he's gonna have to take a couple steps to get over there.
Well, where'd he go?
He like jumped back there. So yeah, just kind of letting him have everything that we have in our inventory here. This is also kind of a time section. We have a limited amount of oxygen. So casually, you would have to be running around, refilling your oxygen.
Don't do this to me.
From these oxygen things. Oh, there we go. GG. That was spooky.
There's so like I could write so many mean emails to Capcom about that one, but there is a lot going on. A lot going on with that fight, and like, you know, him jumping around and time, by the way, I'm sorry, time.
Yeah.
GG. You know, was I underestimate? I gotta know.
You were.
Okay, yeah. See, it's just you can die like 5 times. It's not it's no big deal, guys. Yeah, but that's not a Hero Pro. There's a lot going on. It's such a short DLC, but it's really underrepresented because up until I ran this for Asuka like a week or two ago, it had never ever entered a hotfix or even been shown. So I'm glad to be able to show it off, but I appreciate everyone watching. And Dane, thank you for having me on, and Games So Quick, thanks for having me on as always. I appreciate you guys always trusting me to come on here and totally not restart checkpoint 4 times. But yeah, just as a quick shout out so I can let you guys get back to it. I'm Captain C Heel. I stream Resident Evil all the time. Resident Evil 7 is the game I would say I'm the best at. Have all the world records, all the fun stuff. And I will be running the full game of this, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard Madhouse, new game. I'll be running that for SGDQ. Ambassador stream here on the 15th, where I'll be working alongside GDQ and MSF to raise money for them leading up into SGDQ. So you can find that on my channel as well around that time. And Niddle, if you want to go ahead and give your shout outs as well, Ben.
Yeah, my name is Niddle. I speedrun a lot of Silent Hill 2 and stuff. And I'll actually be running Silent Hill 2 Remake later tonight around 1 a.m. if you can stay up for it on Speedruns from the Crypt. So yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you both for being here. This was a ton of fun, and I'm super glad we got to show it off. So thank you both again. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to give you a chance to stretch your legs, get some water, do all the fun stuff, and then we'll be back in just a little bit. Welcome back to Crosshair here on the GDQ Hotfix. We're going to be scooting right along to our next run in our romp through the Resident Evil DLCs with RE7's End of Zoe with Abby Scorner. Abby, welcome to Crosshair.
Hi, everybody. Just so you all know, I'm in danger because the last time I was in a voice call with Alice, my wonderful commentator, and danger is here. I was laughing for 2 hours. Yeah, this is going to probably happen again, but maybe not for 2 hours, but definitely for, possibly 30.
Yeah, you're saved by the bell on that.
We would never do that. We would never.
Right. So yeah, in 3, 2, 1, begin the run. So,
Good luck.
Unlike normal video games shown on Crosshair, there is no shooting here. We are going to be punching a lot. And
Abby,
I mean a lot.
Fists are bullets.
Okay.
My show, my rules. Fists are bullets, it counts.
Okay.
We're getting started early on the breaking, Abby, so.
It's not that hard.
It's really not.
So normally you don't want a stealth kill here, but it's faster than trying to get them to turn around so that you can punch them in the face. Because here's the thing. You need 4 perfect hits in order for the combo to kill. So I'm just not going to risk it and just, sneak kill. And then we have this lovely cutscene where we get goo coming out of the eyes. We're trying to find medicine.
That guy needs some.
I wish I could walk up to an infected person in Resident Evil and go, yeah, about 4 punches will do it.
Don't we all? So now we're just running back to Zoe. Unfortunately, this isn't a full dose, so no dice. Also, there's a fun thing here. This game has a thing that I like to call Bioshock syndrome, because in Bioshock, when you meet Andrew Ryan, you're going to see a bunch of flashbacks, but if you just stand at his door, you don't get any of the flashbacks. You just hear him talking. And it's the same thing here. If you stare at this wall or at Zoe, when this guy gets thrown through the window by Jack, Joe doesn't flinch. He's just like, whatever. It's all fine. And it's like, okay. I'm not joking. Though also, if you're not staring down at Zoe, Joe won't pick her up. And so it's like, well, isn't this just inconvenient?
I still maintain that in Resident Evil, someone being bisected in front of you is a common enough occurrence that you just kind of shrug it off anyways.
You're not wrong.
Bisecting people is a trope.
So there we go, but Jack's gonna come through the window. I mean, sorry, the swamp monster, because we don't know it's Jack yet. Spoilers, it's Jack. Oops.
Okay, Abby, that's a wall, not a window. It's a window now, but it was a wall before.
Sudden interior decorating.
Also, Alice, you're a Celeste runner. I want you to listen to the sound Jack makes here and tell me if it sounds like something familiar.
Okay. It's okay now, Zoe.
I'm trying to make sure that we can hear the sound. Does it sound like something familiar to you?
I'm listening so closely. I don't know what sound.
It was supposed to sound like, is the block's name Kevin? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're moving on. Again, there's quite a bit of... If there was no cutscenes in this run, it would go by so fast.
True.
Also, wall. I don't know.
Wall.
You're not questioning where the mold monsters are coming from. You're questioning wall, but not mold monsters. Okay. That's cool.
Look, Joe's got enough things to worry about, okay?
I mean, fair enough.
And then someone just puts a wall in his way.
Or is it in his way? He doesn't know where this base is, so he's like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but wall and lights, maybe this is where I want to go.
Don't you worry, Zoe.
Also, there's going to be alligators. I hope nobody's afraid of reptiles. Also, this confirms that Joe is better than Chris Redfield, because not only does his punches kill the zombies, but also... gators don't kill him immediately, unlike a certain somebody on their journey in Africa and the similar sibling known as crocodiles.
Fancy.
I just want everybody to know
now
that I am a notorious Chris Redfield hater. So, yeah.
I was going to say, we're going to espouse the fact that Abby's favorite Resident Evil is, of course, Resident Evil 5. That is her favorite one.
Okay.
Lies and slander?
Of course. Yeah. Wait, what actually is your favorite Resident Evil?
3. Original.
Nice. Good choice.
There we go.
But
And
by
then-
saying that you hate Chris Redfield, you have upset Big Scared, just so you know.
They should be used to it by now.
I really
So
appreciate that
normally-
their heads look about the consistency of a watermelon.
Oh dear. Now, normally you would want to throw the spear, but unfortunately the spears don't insta-kill for me, at least on the crawling ones, so we're just going to save that and just kind of stomp on its head. Also, everybody say hi to Jack again, because here he comes. This
Hi,
time in a
Jack.
somewhat boss
Hi to
fight.
Jack again.
Oh,
So we're
And
just,
there's the bullets of this run.
hitting the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then once he starts looking like he's kind of having a heart attack, that's when we can move. Unfortunately, we have to kill all enemies, quote unquote, kill all enemies, in order to break doors. They don't just allow you to break the doors. So that's also why I'm fighting everything that moves. Also, we're gonna hold up our hands. See, Chris, that's how it's done. You see? You just put up your dukes and they can't kill you, which you can't do, apparently. You just punch a boulder because you're a loser, and you should have died in Resident Evil 1 because everybody knows that Jill is the star of the show.
Wow.
I mean, hot takes, but I agree.
Hot takes and I disagree?
Oh, I guess my blocks didn't want to work today. That's fine.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
be
fine.
Also-
fine.
Also, this run is the Pride Month run of the show today because it has alligators. Alligators.
Oh no. Oh.
Fun.
I was trying to figure out where you were going with that for so long.
I was like, what's happening?
I'm being a dork. That's all.
Okay. And then we're going to go down. Not a lot of runners will pick those up. I do because it seems to work out well. Also, we're going to use spears now. Woo!
That's not boxing.
Aim at the legs because they tend to die better. Because if you try to aim for their chest or their head, you can accidentally hit their arm, and for some reason they can survive that. And it's just like, oh, okay, whatever, it's fine.
Also, spears or bullets. I've decided right now.
Okay.
Yeah, then we're
So
good.
it counts.
And there we go. And then we're going to throw another one because we have another one of these guys. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
4.
Threw another bullet. Excellent.
I already told Abby the terrible joke. I don't want to make it again.
Do it.
Oh, now that you've said that, you have to tell me.
I was gonna kill Joe, but then I took a spear to the knee.
No. Quoted from one of the mold men, of course.
And then if we can kill this guy fast enough, we can get through here early. There is one more oh, no. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he decided to... Okay. Okay.
He
so
decided
anyway,
to
if you
live.
can-
How rude.
No, it's not even him living. It's just that there's an extra one around, but if you can kill armored guy there faster, you don't have to deal with him. But I guess he decided to come around the corner, and it was like, oh... Great. And then we're just beating up a machine, which makes it work. Please don't beat up
whenever
your
I play Elden Ring.
machines. And then we're gonna
Hello,
get
weird
thrown-
swamp monster.
Indeed. So
I
now
wonder
this
what the
is, I
identity
guess-
Oh.
I mean, I've already spoiled it.
No, that didn't happen.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay then. So now we're going to fight him again for the second time. This one's more boss fighty than the first one. Also, he gets called a pile of puke. So we're going to try to stun lock him. So that way we can just keep wailing on him forever. Come on. There we go. Hit him again. And then I hope people are wrestling fans because we're about to powerbomb him into oblivion. Hooray. And then continue to punch him. Actually, it's really good that I broke that box because then I can grab the minor healing item. Because I'm going to need that. And I don't know if I can get him over into the corner with the full heal. We're slowly making it, but again, if he starts going down to his knee, that's signifying, hey, it's time to die. Of course, I could just grab it now. And, ooh, I can grab him. Okay, so it's faster to get behind him and then do this, because what he'll do is he'll flip him around and it takes a little while longer. But, yeah, we kind of tear off his head. Also, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe we heal in cutscenes. I think. I don't have confirmation of that.
I'm coming for you, Zoe.
The red isn't on your screen anymore, so maybe.
Maybe, but then it comes back.
Oh, wait. Never mind, I lied. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But we may have healed a little bit because it's not like gray red on the screen and it's not telling me to heal. So, question mark. So here we go.
I've decided question marks are bullets.
Dane, is everything just going to be bullets today?
It's
my
Crosshair.
show, my rules.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, we
I'll
just
take
killed
your
you.
word for it. Yeah, he's back. He comes back really fast. Maybe you should have thrown his head up a few floors instead of in the water, because it might have been impossible for him to get his head back. We don't know how he gets his head back. Is it the typical, the body just tries to move towards the head and the head's trying to communicate and it's like, no, over there, you idiot? Or is it like, you know, Cell from Dragon Ball where it's just like, head comes back? We don't know.
Just grow his head back.
Okay, but now I want to see that like cartoon of the body wandering around trying to find the head in Resident Evil.
I'm picturing the guardian ape from Sekiro now. Just stands up with his head removed and keeps fighting.
All right. So we're entering the next area. I'm down 2 spears, which isn't, or no, I'm down a spear. Sorry, a spear. So we might have to punch some extra things instead of throwing spears. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh
We'll be
no.
fine.
We have to punch more?
Yes, we have to punch.
Tragic.
It just means we have to use our bullets because we're down a bullet. That's fine.
Yeah.
A reminder, this are bullets at the moment.
Yes. With Joe, that, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. If one bullet hits me, it could kill me. If Joe punches me once, it would kill me. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to that story.
No, that logic tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to smile and nod. All right. Plushy Gator. Shoutouts to Niddle. Niddle wants the plushy gator. Capcom, get on it. Why didn't you release a plushy gator? Come on.
I want one too.
I would buy a plushie gator.
Capcom, you've heard it here. Release the gator plushes.
You've got money laying on the table, Capcom. Make it happen.
We know you already have them in the storeroom. Release them. I, for one, very much appreciate how on brand for a game set in the Louisiana swamp, just walking through the swamp being attacked by gators is.
It's canonically accurate to real life.
Yeah.
I'll have to take your words for it. I've never been to Louisiana.
Also canonically accurate to real life is if you hold up your hands like that, they legally can't kill you.
Or injure you that much. I just like how he casually like wipes his hand in air.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think that cleans that, Joe, but okay. So we've got two spears.
You have to clean your bullets, okay?
True.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering why I'm still getting sticks, it's because we're going to make bombs out of them. How does bombs or sticks and liquid chemicals equal bomb? Couldn't tell you. But it does. It's just how it is. And we punch.
I'm learning a lot from this game.
Oh, I hit his arm. Boo.
Oh, no.
It's fine. You were able to punch him with your bullet.
Are you... Okay, you died. I wasn't sure if
That
it
was weird.
dying. Yeah, I was like, is it dying? I don't know. There we go. Super punch.
We'll
And
wipe
if you're
off the
wondering
air.
why Abby's fighting all of them is she actually has to kill all of them before you can actually break this door. Otherwise, it won't break.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Why do you do this, Capcom?
Trigger enemies.
There we go. And then 2 more spears.
2 more bullets. Cool.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We've
Now,
converted her.
normally, I would actually not be punching these guys. I would have thrown spears, but they were being really slow. And so I was like, I don't appreciate your slow.
Oh.
So I'm
Their
just going to stomp
knees.
your legs off. All right. So this guy. Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Ooh.
Then. Oh. There we go.
Oh,
We found-
no.
That was
Oh,
rude.
no. Indeed, it was. So we're losing a bit of time here because we fell into the swamp. So we got to get back up. Shame on you, moled creature. Also, there's still gators, by the way.
Hold on, idea. Capcom, if this isn't already a thing, get on it. What if you befriended one of the gators and it became your pet, like a ranger, and you could send it after some of the mold monsters?
That is not a thing in this game at all.
But
it should be.
They could add it. They could add it to this 8-year-old game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we make our bombs, and there we go. We're going to use this for the puking molded, because it's going to kill him real fast. And of course, I have 1 more extra spear than I normally would, so we don't really have to worry about the thing that I said we had to worry about and possibly punch. So here we go. And then I'm going to wait for him to finish the line, and kaboom, and then I'm going to throw and throw.
Very nice.
And there we go.
I don't know why it
Grab
feels
that.
so much ruder to target their knees than their face.
I don't know. So, fun fact about this cutscene that's happening as we reveal that it's Jack. As Jack puts us
Jack?
into the coffin, the character model is actually being dragged down into the water. Like, their physical coordinations are changing. Shoutouts to Niddle for that, because he told me that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It'd be nice if that wasn't a thing and it was just a video file so I could skip it, but whatever, it's fine. This is his favorite cutscene, so we get to watch the drowning happen.
God damn it, Jack! Don't you remember your brother?
It's just a very unfortunate situation.
Don't you touch her! Jack! Let me the fuck out of here!
So while we're watching this cutscene, I'm going to remind everybody that SGDQ is coming up, and if you haven't seen, we've got the SGDQ Ambassador Program launching all throughout the month of June. Support Doctors Without Borders by joining each ambassador's community in the lead up to SGDQ. You can use !SGDQ Ambassadors to check out the full schedule. Our previous runner, Captain Ezekiel, was talking about this at the end of his run, that he is actually one of our SGDQ ambassadors. So be sure to check him out on the 15th. Additionally, if you are planning to submit a prize for SGDQ, prize submissions are open currently. You can go to gamesdonequick.com for more info about how to submit your prize to be featured at the event.
So now we have woken up, no idea where the coffin is or anything or how we got here, but now we're going to become Super Punch Uncle because we're going to get a new fancy toy.
Now we're going to become Super Punch Uncle? We weren't before?
This is where the bullets come in, because this little thing we're picking up, this is what makes you into a human bullet.
Okay.
Right here. This little toy.
So here we go. I don't know how this device would work in real life, but whatever, it's fine. It's a video game.
If that's not a bullet, I don't know what is.
Let's say, also shout out to the fact that Joe is left-handed. Left-handers rise up.
He's not left-handed. This is just the left-handed glove.
Okay, so he's left-handed because he's wearing the left-handed glove. You cannot convince me otherwise. He's canonically left-handed. I've said it. I'm not taking it back.
If you can beat the game on the hardest difficulty, you actually get a left and right hand. That mode is brutal because they're just like, oh, hey, here's a bunch of these. And it's just like, oh, pain. Also, don't hit this guy because somehow hitting him allows him to hit you in return. And it's just like, oh, that's lovely.
Retribution.
Revenge bullets.
So here we are. We're entering the Baker house. And also, Jack's a bit of an asshole, as you're about to see. Also, I'd hate how the game purposely slows you down here. But here's why Jack's an asshole. So he drags Zoe all the way here just to, jump scare. But then also just flip a table and flip her to the other side of the room. Like, what an ass.
/table flip.
He appreciates the show,
So again, we're relying on the 4-hit combo. Also, we kind of want to put him in a corner so that way he can't jump around. I said, so you don't jump around, sir. Thank you. And then we're going to super punch him right now, which is going to knock him on the ground. Woo! And then we're going to kneel down to punch him.
What? Why are you punching him there, though?
Because where else am I supposed to?
I don't know.
It's actually the closest point that you can hit at that point in time, so it kind of makes sense. You can hit him more easily. That's fine.
It's just, it feels like less rude places that you could bullet punch.
They are harder to hit from that angle, and so that's the strat, is to aim there because it is easier to hit.
And he's dead.
Woo!
And now we're going to punch his face off and say farewell from the family.
Bye, Jack.
And boom. You always know when they're dead when they turn white. And, that's the second time he's done it, so it's really, his properties are very weird. And then we save Zoe, and once the screen goes blank, that is time. Because, yeah. So, also, it's weird that all of the white crystals just disappear. So, yeah, that's time.
GG.
Alice, please tell the fine people where they can find you.
Oh, hi. I'm Alice at Wonderland Games. You can find me at twitch.tv/Alice at Wonderland Games.
Yes, she's a fantastic Sly Cooper runner, as well as other 2D or 3D platformers from the PlayStation 2 era. She also plays Valorant and DBD and Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. Definitely give her a follow.
Wait, she sounds pretty great, though.
Yeah. And what have you. And also, you should follow Dangerous, because Dane is cool, too. Yeah, you
okay,
never.
but we're not here for me. We're here for Abby, and you should all be going to follow Abby at twitch.tv/Abby's Corner. She streams a whole bunch of different types of speedruns all the time. And I don't know anybody. Well, that's not true. I know a few people, but I don't know very many people who can just keep up commentary constantly the way Abby does. You can learn a lot from watching her do runs.
Not to mention,
follow Abby.
The sheer amount of runs is ridiculous. Like not to undersell that. There's a lot of different runs. If you just wanna check out a huge variety, go chill at Abby's stream.
Indeed.
Yeah. You can also see me here next Saturday. I'll be running Illbleed.
Nice.
For the Sega All-Stars Hotfix. So yeah, you get to see me again next week. Also, you should follow Big Scared, who was here earlier, and Captain Ezekiel, and Niddle, because they're all great. They're all fantastic, and yeah. And you should also stick around for the next run, because it's RE4, the game I've speedran the most. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you both for being here and for showing this run off. You have contributed to the Resident Evil DLC bonanza. So thank you both for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be wrapping up today's episode of Crosshair with Resident Evil 4 Remakes DLC. So we'll see you back here. Welcome back to Crosshair here on the GDQ Hotfix. We're wrapping up tonight's episode of Crosshair with Resident Evil 4 Remake, Remaster, Game of the Year Edition. It's not any of those things. I just wanted to do that voice a little bit more. But we're going to be doing the DLC today, which is Separate Ways. And joining me today for that, we've got Iki here. Hello, and welcome to Crosshair.
Hey everybody, I'm Iki. I'm a Resident Evil speedrunner, primarily on Resident Evil 4 Remake and 7. And I'm joined by my lovely commentator, who would introduce himself.
Hello, I'm DJ. I do speedruns of Resident Evil as well, and we'll be doing commentary. Good luck, Iki.
All right, start in 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So with Resident Evil 4, we start like right in the action. We actually got a first boss fight in a couple seconds right here, and this fight is actually pretty RNG. On standard, you pretty much rely on purely crits for a fast fight.
Yeah, he has to. The first boss, Basanta 1, has to get to like 1200 HP or something like that, and we do that with pistol headshots. And usually, it's anywhere from like 3 to 9 shots. So we don't know when it exactly happens, because it's really hard to headshot and keep track of your SRT to look at the HP values. And then you throw a nade, and then you TMP the rest. And yeah, that boss, we just cannot figure out a consistent way to do it faster or anything like that.
And I think there's something without having one of your first shots not being a headshot, then going for headshots to make it a little bit more consistent. Something about like making up the damage, so you don't get like an awkward timing with the stagger as well.
So there are some RNG item pickups, and we need to find a nade, rifle ammo, I can't remember the other.
Gunpowder or a treasure.
Gunpowder. Yeah, one of those things, because we need to fill our inventory to do this thing called a fast glitch. There's a merchant that's coming up, and there is a thing where you can kind of overload your inventory or like store fasts, and it makes it so that you can kind of duplicate them. And we need about 95,000 for the first merchant and 405,000 for the second merchant. So we're basically just scamming the merchant. Yeah, it's a pretty, I don't know if it's new anymore, but it's kind of like a major glitch that came out about a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, and it was actually discovered through a Reddit thread where someone posted, it was like, hey, has anyone seen this glitch before? And everyone was like, no. And of course, people spread word to the speedrunners, and within a week, people like reverse engineered it and figured out the requirements to get it consistent.
Yeah, before fast glitching, we had to pick up a crown and like 3 jewels to put inside to sell for 100,000. And then we had, also the herbs had to be combined to sell. So we couldn't even heal. And that was not fun.
Yeah, taking one hit pretty much was a guaranteed reset because each triple herb combination sells for 10k. I'm not sure if that changes on pro. And first aid sprays were 2.5k on standard assisted and 5k on hardcore and pro.
We just flew right past the out of bounds glitch.
Yeah. So out of bounds glitch, tripwire. There's a similar out of bounds setup with the tripwires in min game, which is actually discovered through. Wait, hold on. Okay, I messed up.
Oh.
Anyway, so the tripwire out of bounds glitch was discovered through a TikTok around release, and people were just showing off. Was trying to see like, hey, this is a cool trick you can do, and people eventually labbed out how to do consistently. Sadly, I fell. The last 2 parts, or near the end of the out of bounds, I got to do 2 specific knife slashes to not fall over because her knife animation does gain you a little bit of distance, and that's enough to not fall into the void. But I did not do that.
Yeah, a lot of the glitches. Well, pretty much all the glitches is just based on trying to get Ada to kind of like clip through the wall you're trying to go through. Like as right here, you can kind of see like Ada's hand and like part of her body kind of flows through the wall there. That gets her inside because of the animation of picking up the tripwire, disabling the tripwire. So, and then getting out is basically if you just walk straight forward, as you've seen, you just kind of go into the void, but the knife animation just kind of pushes her forward, and that's what gets you out here. And this was first found on release, right, or close to release?
Yeah, since you could do it in the main game, people kind of figured, okay, you could probably do something similar in the DLC. Yeah. Here you go, those 2 knife slashes.
Here we go.
They're very specific timing, so it may look easy, but it's not. I'm not just saying that just because I fell to my death, but yeah.
I have tried to learn that out of bounds. I've never pulled it off once. So yeah, no, it's not easy at all.
I'm not. So I run Resident Evil games, and like I just never had an out of bounds thing I need to learn until this one, and then it took me so long to figure out because if you mess it up, you can't really like go back and try it again. You can reload a save, but you know it was just very frustrating.
Yeah. I was in a similar case where my first category is main game glitchless, and when I was learning separate ways, that was my first out of bounds I had to learn, and it took me 3 hours just to get the hang of it.
Oh, so the question about crouching when you're running is, it basically makes Ada move faster, and it only is during combat. So I guess when you're in combat, you move slower than just like regular no combat speed. So this kind of like lets you go a little bit faster than just holding W, but it's only like certain times. So enemies has to be nearby for it to happen. It looks really funky, but I guess it's faster.
Yeah, people did some testing, and for every 10 seconds you do it somewhat properly, it saves you at least half a second. So it's pretty worth doing throughout an entire run, especially in main game where that's almost 2 hours, and this is over about 40 minutes.
The only places I can think of where people like, you know, we spend like a lot of time talking about saving half a second or
like that right there. That saves like a quarter second knifing into a cutscene.
Oh yeah, because it pushes it forward. I think it would be like speedrunners and like marathon runners, and I don't know any other like place where people are talking about trying to shave off a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth it. Adds up. So right here is the setup for the fast glitch. So what you want to do is have 16 different type of item in the inventory or in your storage. And what you do is you put in fast into your storage that it's more than the amount you have in the inventory. So you need 1 fast in your inventory, and you do this thing where you you're kind of selling to the merchant, but then like that extra fast on the bottom goes on the top, but it doesn't get rid of the fast. And this saves us a lot of time and a lot of aggravation, because sometimes when you try to make money the legitimate way, you just don't have enough money, so you kind of want to, you know, do it this way in the game.
Yeah, before the fast glitch was discovered, that boss fight I just rocketed was such a massive reset point where you're basically relied on your kick to get a crit on him, and if not, you got to go back to the beginning because it's like an extra 15 to 30 seconds depending on how long you mess up phase 3 or phase 2.
Yeah, a lot of reason why we need money in this game is basically to upgrade weapons or to buy the rocket launcher. And if we have a glitch where we can just get as much money as we need, we buy all the rockets to skip all the annoying bosses. Because Santa 2 was a very annoying boss. You do some kicks with your shots, and sometimes they crit. And yeah, if you don't get crits, then it's not fun.
Yeah, many endless nights just grinding Santa 2 just to have my run die somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Life of a speedrunner.
What's the worst? You know what's the worst is like when you do a very difficult section and then you lose time to something very simple right after. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Or it's the worst. It's just pure movement, then you just like lose time just because just your like skill issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. The big cheese himself, Mendez.
Yep.
There is no escape.
Good thing we don't have to fight him. We can just escape.
Yeah, thankfully.
But
so
he said there is no escape.
He says that, but
then you just leave.
Yep, we're just gonna crouch our way out of there.
Yeah, I gotta hit the little gritty first.
Still after me, huh?
Well, no, just kidding.
Ooh.
That is a very tight squeeze.
Yeah, sometimes he likes to sleep until after you pass, and then he grabs you, and there's not much you can do.
And right here coming up is the second fast glitch situation, but we need 405,000. So there's gonna be 40 cells of fences. And the merchant does not realize we're not selling him anything, but he's giving us money, so it's
he's turning a blind eye.
Time. Yeah,
I did this at Walmart one time, and they don't let me back in Walmart now for that reason.
Oh, those merchants at Walmart, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Everything's expensive out here. We need to do this.
I put my basket on the checkout lane, and it rolls up to them, and the cashier just looks at me and says, "What are you buying?" All right. Well, while we're selling a bunch of first aid sprays back to the merchant, quote unquote, want to remind everybody: Black and Flash's summer speedrunning celebration, Juneteenth, will be live on the GDQ channel from June 19th to the 22nd. That's coming up soon. Type !Juneteenth in chat for the full schedule, and visit gdq.gg/BAF to learn about how you can join the Black and Flash community.
Right, should be coming up on the finisher. So Iki's going to buy a rocket launcher, the shoddy, a small resource, and the striker charm. So the striker charm, it's got the lore from the old RE4 4OG. I think the Ditman glitch.
Yeah, Ditman.
Yeah.
And
because of that, I think there was a glitch in the old one where like you can move faster with the striker shotgun by doing some equipping, unequipping stuff, and they kind of did a homage to the old game and putting it in there. And that charm makes you move like 8% faster, and it might not seem like much, but a lot of enemies you can kind of like easily run past if you have a speed boost, and it definitely helps. And you go faster, so it's great. And that skip that Iki just did is the door glitch, and I think it's, I don't know how to explain it.
So like that door clip like people knew about clipping that door around release in separate ways, but knew a consistent setup till like about 2 months ago, where people were labbing it out. People found out if you just aim up and just kind of like let go of aim and tap your virtual controller, you can like sort of clip through. Then if you kind of like, if you're in a running animation, you can kind of shimmy your way through the door. And also, if you could explain what the virtual, if I can. Okay, this is why I don't play Souls games.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! This is.
Oh my god!
This is why I don't play Souls games. I can't parry.
That lady just did a wombo combo, and then I just grabbed hold.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, this part's a bit scary. There's no real super consistent way. You just kind of look away and pray. Okay.
Ooh, there
we go.
Nice. Okay.
GG.
Yeah.
We gotta run.
Yeah, that works like 90% of the time. But when you do get killed, it just feels awful because it's such a long death animation.
And you just did the like 40 fast cells and the glitch. So
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, not fun. Okay, so on the difficulties that have an autosave, there's some points where you reload checkpoint. So either it sets aggro of the enemies and the positioning, or if you're, for some reason in this area, we can't do our crouch spin unless we reset checkpoint there. Because I think the game probably wants us to walk a little bit slower to be like, oh, cool, there's a Plagas head right there. So reload checkpoint kind of gives you the ability to crouch sprint. And this one here just resets aggro and we drop out of combat speed. So saves
yeah,
like,
I
like a second or two.
saw Hyrule's run yesterday where I don't think he reset there and like the Ganado behind just grabbed and I'm like, oh, yeah, so that guy can run really fast.
Oh yeah.
And here's a fixed, yeah, there's some fixed item pickup. So this is a fixed item pickup, the nade. And we need this guy to go down right here so he holds the door open because he's not a gentleman, he doesn't hold doors open. And here we go, right through.
And normally, in most runs, people use the TMP and kind of like shoot at them, but the TMP, if you play this game, it is so inaccurate, especially like beyond spitting distance. Yep. So I just kind of switched to the rifle just to make it easy, rather than you just see me just spraying awkwardly.
I think I shot a barrel like all the way in the other side of the room with the TMP once, and I wasn't even aiming at it. I'm like, wait a minute, how does this happen?
That sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, that sounds like that's about the TMP.
God, you really just removed these boss fights entirely with this new glitch.
Yeah, it's super nice. But sadly, there's still some fun rooms in the second half of the game that you'll see. If you're on this game, you know what I'm talking about.
So here's just like a little hold W part here. There's a very scary part coming up where there are a lot of enemies and it's a very tiny amount of space, so you need to clear all of them. Sometimes they will hit you.
Yeah. It's not too surprising if you get kind of body blocked on the way down here, down these stairs.
Yeah, look at this area. There's like that guy, shield, and
that could have been bad.
That got risky.
Yeah, they added some like mechanic where enemies will like push you if you're close to them, and if you run into them, you get stunned. I don't know what that's about, but
it's called aura. It's what the kids say nowadays.
For real. I don't know what the kids say, but for sure they still say that.
I think they moved past that.
Oh my god, are you serious? I just started using it, and oh my god, how do I keep up with all this? I'm definitely old.
That's the trick. You don't. you grow old like me and resign yourself to you'll never keep up.
Yeah, I'm never keeping up, man.
Took me a while to realize people stopped saying YOLO.
Oh no, I just started saying it.
Damn, did you really?
Only just now?
Yeah.
Yes.
every strat is just YOLO strats.
Is the 16-year-old slang term?
Oh no, don't say it's actually 16 years old now. Oh god.
It can drive. YOLO can drive.
Oh no.
And but YOLO should not, because it's YOLO.
True. That would be.
If anybody should not be allowed to drive, it's you.
Yeah, YOLO's gonna be walking everywhere.
Thank goodness we have walkable cities, right?
YOLO's in the parking lot doing donuts.
All right, so here, we just need to make sure we shoot. Sometimes, even if there's a cutscene, if the enemy's in an attack animation, you can still get hit right after the cutscene. Capcom really took out a lot of like safe iframes and stuff. I don't know why. I'm guessing it has something to do with speedrunners, exploiting the games from earlier, but I don't
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, they kind of like really emphasize the horror aspect, I guess, of
Hey, let's
Making us
got the
take more
striker
damage.
charm as an homage to speedrunning.
Yeah, that striker is awesome. I love striker charm.
Yeah, I just wish it was a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. All right, so coming up here is this next glitch or next skip. It is the gong skip. So there's a thing that happens here when Iki grabs the torch. The camera automatically kind of hijacks Ada into looking into the wall and kind of stuck, but you can kind of avoid that by doing a little, I think you tap up
Quick,
or run.
Any direction in quick turn.
Yeah, and it gives you a little bit of time to like move. So
Oh, I messed up that.
Oh no!
I got one more to show off a cool trick, I swear.
Yeah, you can glitch out of that little area there, but it's very hard to do. Here.
There we go.
There you go.
Assuming I did it on the previous gong, that saves me about like 4 seconds. And if you know how much speedrunners like to do this, gotta save every little bit of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with RE.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And so the big thing with this run is shotgun ammo. When you get a fixed shotgun shell drop earlier in the game, I think you get 3 shells.
Yeah.
So right now Iki has. Oh, you didn't get any at the gong.
No, I didn't.
The extras.
Don't remind me.
Okay. All right. So you can craft shotgun shells, so it'll be fine. Them here, we use a couple here to take out these knights. If the Plaga explodes, that one and this one, do a flash.
Wait, that was weird. Oops. Whoa, that is awkward.
This room also sucks on professional difficulty.
Oh, wait,
I
this
will
is-
not apologize for saying that.
Let me. I shot them during a weird animation where it won't stagger if they're tumbling back. So this might be a very awkward room already. Oh my god. Okay, thank goodness I healed. Yeah, that
wow.
was. Yeah. So if you're like kicking one knight and another knight tumbles back, they cannot stagger at all until they finish the animation. And it feels like it goes on forever.
It's like a micro iframe,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Got some wares. Perfect for a professional like.
But yeah, this you do have enough shotgun. It's just we would like to see another drop.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Ask and you shall
okay.
receive.
Oh
Nice.
my god, this is
Well,
someone check NPC situation.
I don't know how Word.exe installed, I swear.
That is a commentator's blessing, I think.
Yeah.
For real. So here, throw the flash, and we shoot him 3 times, and he should go down here. We upgrade the shotgun, so like it does a lot more damage than normal. And we're out of here.
And I think the old strat, when we just had like an upgraded shotgun, I think we had to like TMP him to like 3200 HP. Then we shotgunned him like 3 times. So it was, it was really awkward.
The whole thing is like you had to pause buffer and like look at the HP value and look at the amount of ammo you have left in the TMP and do all these calculations and stuff, I guess. I don't know. But, oh man. So glad those days are over.
Especially for Pasanta 2. Pasanta 2, like you had to constantly keep track of SRT and like see how much HP they had because so many HP thresholds if you wanted the boss fight to go accordingly. It was just not fun.
I wrote everything in the splits because I'm like I can't remember all this.
Yeah, because like it starts like 4000 HP, needs to be like 37 before you kick, then like you crit kick, then headshot and pray that's at like 1900 HP. Then you like bring them down to like 800, 900 HP. Then you go for like a finishing knife hit. It was not fun to do in the moment.
Yeah, I already forgot about it once I can just rock it.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, all right, no need to remember all these numbers. They're too complicated.
I have a tattooed in my glasses, or etched in my glasses.
Right, so now we are going into the sewer, and there will be another door glitch coming up. I don't know if, like, for me personally, I think this one is like the easiest one because there's no like consequence besides just failing it. And Yeah, this saves a lot of time too. And you get a little weird, like you're running in the water, but you're not swimming in the water kind of thing going on, which is kind of cool.
Ada got some gills.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Then
this upcoming skip was super nice because it saves about 30 seconds.
Hope it's not a sign of things to
Because before, we had to go all the way to the left and loop around, turn a valve to drain the water, and you got to deal with like 3 enemies who are like, who want you dead. Or we can just do this. Just
There we
clip
go.
through. It's just that easy. I was kind of scared I was going to mess up. After you said, like, this is probably the easiest one, I'm like, don't say that.
She's underwater.
I got really scared. Oh yeah, we're underwater now.
It's more cool to say that it's easy and then, you know, before you do it. If you just do it after, it doesn't sound as cool.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yep. But yeah, we're in the water, but we're running. And yeah, this saves. And also, you don't have to deal with Novies. Novies are very annoying enemies. And there's one that's supposed to be here, but it's like despawned. And this one blocks like this little area you have to go through. So sometimes you don't know like what you need to do to get through one.
Thanks for the
And before, like, we had, like to like someone manipulate the AI, we had to like look up or down, and we really can see where we're running.
Yep, exactly. Here we TMP him to get him out of this. Shotgun him once, shotgun him twice, and he's dead. Back in my day, we used the rifle, and the rifle targeting is like really bad. This game, or weapons in general.
It doesn't help that the hitbox for that Garrador is very iffy. Kind of like had to go like sight like a pixel off, like where you see the weak spot to actually hit it, especially from the side.
All right, now we just craft more shotgun shells. So the small resource that we pick up and buy and the gunpowder is basically only used to make shotgun shells, and that's it. We don't have to do any other crafting or anything like that, and we have more than enough for the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty much everything else we need for like in terms of nades, we just grab fixed drops, or we just kind of run and pray that we don't get grabbed or shot at.
And this merchant we don't scam. We just buy, and we're doing it legit now.
I'm gonna sell these resources because that's.
Oh yeah, it takes up inventory.
I can certain all yours, stranger. We're stuffed. Now go and cause some mate.
And the shotgun is fully upgraded on power, so that we can get a stun on U3, which is a boss that's coming up.
Yeah, if you play the original, you'll recognize this boss.
Yep.
My turn. You're not even trying.
So pretty much you stun lock him by animation canceling a shotgun, then waiting for him to stagger, reload, and kick. Ooh, we got a crit there.
Nice crit. Nice crit.
And then wasn't in the original. Here's a cool phase 2, which is annoying to do. So I'm kind of glad we rocket that one.
Yeah, he is random if you have to fight him straight up with like the burrowing and coming up and shooting the pods and whatnot. It's much easier it's basically Resident Evil nutshell. It's just easier to rocket everything. But we don't have enough money to rocket everything, so we're very selective on who we rocket.
That's why I usually run New Game Plus.
Yeah,
just run around with an infinite rocket launcher.
Oh man, that's my favorite thing to do after like beating it casually. After I unlock the rocket launcher, like, all right, I'm coming back. I'm killing everything.
Insane dopamine rush. Yeah. Especially after like a hard fought like playthrough, like first time playing pro, then like, all right, infinite rocket launcher time.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a bullfrog rocket launcher.
So pretty much from here on out, this is where the real run begins, where the game's BS meter just kind of cranks up to the max.
Oh yeah.
A lot more annoying grabbers, a lot more archers. Next chapter, there'll be enemies with rocket launchers introduced. And you can already imagine what that's going to be like. Especially since Ada, she has no body armor compared to Leon, so she can die a lot faster.
Look at all this yellow paint everywhere.
Something
He
happened.
tried. He tried his best.
The one time we get iframes in that.
Yeah, only there.
Yep. Right.
And I'm kind of glad for the yellow paint. Sometimes I get lost so easily, especially my first playthrough. So thank you, Capcom, for the yellow paint.
Also, you know, like how some Ganados will grab you and like flip you completely around, so it's like hard to tell, you know, where you are after you get grabbed or like what area you're supposed to go to, kind of thing. And yeah, having markers and visual cues is really helpful, especially even if you've been through there like 1,000 times. It's like, I'm turned around here. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
And it makes the game makes it harder to like regain control of your camera too. So even if you're trying to adjust, it's still like just wonky.
Yeah. Camera hijacking.
We love it. Sadly, we can't find a cheap way to manipulate that.
Yeah.
My cope is just constantly spamming through my weapons. I don't think it really works, but it makes me feel better.
And this like slammer area, it would be a lot tougher without the striker charm. That 8% bonus that I was talking about earlier, it really helps. Like I think you can skip a cycle. Like you're not able to skip a cycle if you don't have extra movement speed.
Yeah, it does let you. So before we could scam the merchant, we would the old route, we just barely have enough money to buy the striker charm right before that section. So just so we can skip a cycle.
Hard times, man.
Ooh.
Narrow corridors and more enemies. Fun times.
Yep.
All right, and this is the elevator skip. So the skip that's coming up here is just like the door ones where you try to click through, and it saves a ridiculous amount of time.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Okay, they save.
Oh.
Third time's a charm, maybe? Oh, this is... There we go.
There we go.
First try.
Nice.
Gotta keep the client happy.
When you go down the elevator there, it is about... It saves about 35 seconds, right?
If you do it like first try perfectly, like I did, it saves 35 seconds.
Yep. So we're saving 35 seconds.
Yeah.
GDQ staff, please, minus 35 seconds from the estimate.
Yeah.
All right. So that one is very difficult because if you hit the elevator button, you have to go back and knife the door to make it stay open, or else it closes and now you're stuck into the elevator going down cutscene, I guess. So
yeah, you had to go the dev intended way. I can't believe the game would make us do that.
I want you to know that the producer changed the estimate to $39.25. I just want you to know that.
Yo, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our producer loves memes as much as I do, so there you go.
All right, so another narrow corridor area with more enemies. So shout out to Red Zoro for finding out this strat here. So if we crouch here and hold backwards, it makes it so that the enemies that we just passed don't come up to you here, because in order to take this elevator, the area needs to be clear of enemies. And we kill those two, and so instead of them running up to the elevator, just go right through.
Yep. It makes the area a lot more consistent, but the only thing you need is at least 2 shotgun ammos or shotgun shells to one-tap these guys here.
Yeah. Oh, this is my favorite part.
All of our favorite section. Wrecking ball door.
And
yeah, never been a bit of RNG here.
Yeah, super consistent. Nothing bad happens here.
So here, Iki's going to throw a flash, and there will be enemies here that will get flashed, but there is a shield guy here. He can block the entire way, so kicking him out of the way is a way to do it. Oh, go, and then,
Ooh, that's unlucky.
Yeah. Okay, it's clean. It's fine. That big guy, JJ, he does a kick, and because it's a narrow area, you can kind of get caught up in it. One way to avoid that is to like go backwards and then go forward or go to the side. But sometimes you don't have enough room to work with. So that was a really good setup, the JJ.
Sometimes if JJ's early enough and puts the ammo on his arm, you can shoot and stagger him. But that wasn't the case, so I kind of had to do like a... Ooh, that did not work out.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so...
That is a very tough timing thing to...
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so strat is pretty much kind of crouch before to bait the regenerator to do a certain animation, so then you can just run around, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. I mean, it did work out. I got it on my first try, unscathed.
The regenerator has two different attacks. He can do a arm slam down or the grab, and the grab is like, yeah, if you don't crouch and like get out of his line of sight, then yeah, he can grab you there.
Yeah, even if you're to the side of the regenerator and does that like grab move, you'll get hit. And I've had some interesting interactions with that. I'm sure you have too, DJ.
Yeah, that one. It was DA based too, I think. Like there's certain, if your DA was too high, then he's more likely to grab you or something like that. But if your DA is low, then he's not going to do the grab. He'll more likely do the slam or something like that. But okay, and we are going to work our way through.
Ooh, oh, almost unscathed.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah, spiky regenerator, Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
It's kind of RNG there. The Iron Maiden's AI is a little bit more consistent on Pro, because normally like you kind of run on the left side, then juke to the right to force a charging animation, just run past. But on Standard, it's a bit slow. You can get higher chance of getting body block there.
It's kind of counterproductive, but like the difficulty, the higher the difficulty, the more kind of predictable some of these enemies get because they attack faster, so it's easier to anticipate what's going to happen. And we got the crossbow, MVP of this game, to do another skip.
Yeah, very, very important for the rest of the run.
And here is an autoschooler coming up, the gondola part. And what we need to do is not take damage. And
it's that simple. Don't take damage.
It's so easy to do that.
Yeah. Also, part of that was in the original game that got tacked onto the DLC here. It's a little bit more engaging than the original. I feel like it actually was just like yeah.
A little
bit more. I mean, you can just parry, but sometimes with like weird elevation, since you're going slightly down, it does like, even though you're clearly like in parry range, parry angle, like the game just like still thinks you get hit.
Yeah, and these are pro players too. These archers, like they're on a team or something, because the amount of times we just get hit from these guys is insane. It's like you know the arrow's coming, but see. It's impossible to anticipate some of these arrows.
These snipers are on phase plan.
Yeah,
clearly.
For real, man. It's insane. And this is standard. Come on. So Iki shot a crossbow at the one of the guys that come out has a rocket, and yeah, I did this on knife only, so I couldn't like do anything about the rocket. And, I pause buffered and I still got hit. So I'm like, okay, well, this didn't really do anything.
Here's another trick that's not really done on Standard, only on Pro, but I think it's pretty cool to show off. So you can just kind of back into the merchant, wait for you clip a little, and boom, there you go.
Very nice.
And I had to crouch there or else I'll get stuck or I get on top of the box and I can't leave. So normally we just reload checkpoint and just kind of run through the lasers because they get reset, but I was running Pro and I spent like 2 hours learning it and I wanted to show it off, so yeah, there we go.
First try.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And here
Here is the turret skip.
This is such a hard skip.
That is
so close. Push him back, push him back.
Oh, that is yeah. Basically, we use the crossbow to launch his body to the lasers, so we can just run through. But yeah, that was he was almost there. And oh, my Garmin just rang me because I'm overly stressed right now. They know me too well.
The idea is you want to get the Ganado guy here to jump in front of the rocket caused by your crossbow shot here.
I did the easier variation.
Okay, there we go. Yep, but it needs to be alive so that the turret just like goes off and shoots him. You can just run through.
And you can't walk on top of the body or else you also get hit with the laser.
Yeah.
Need to find the main terminal.
That's while we're running through here. Oh, I was gonna say, while we're running through here, I've got just a little bit more for the folks. If you are not aware, we are doing the annual Sonic Hotfix event. It's back, and this year it's gonna be live on June 14th and 15th at 12 p.m. Eastern. This year we're expanding beyond Sonic speedruns, and we're including other Sega franchises as well. Abby, who we just saw running End of Zoe, is gonna be running Illbleed at that event. So you can type !Sonic into chat for the full schedule and let us know what you're excited to see. And as a reminder, your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, bits, everything that you cheer and contribute to the GDQ channel keeps Hotfix up and running. If you're enjoying the stream, consider subscribing for exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, and access to chat during replays. You can also always support the stream by sharing the Games Done Quick channel with your friends and loved ones.
I'm not really a lore master when it comes to games, and I have no idea who this character is. I think he's like a scientist or something. I'm gonna be real. I don't know who he is. I've only cut the notes for the achievement. Yeah.
I'm so glad that like when he asked me to do commentary, I didn't have to know the lore because oh god.
I'm gonna.
Ooh, that's.
I'll kind of do a cool trick, but basically, I also use the arrows to blast me through the laser.
Yeah, this saves a little bit of time because you don't have to watch the cutscene of.
Oh, I didn't blast myself far enough, but
yeah,
as long as I made it through the lasers.
The good thing about that skip is that you do take damage, but you cannot die. So you can only get to like 1 HP. So you just, if you go into danger, you can just use a heal and you're good to go.
Oh, I keep forgetting about the bridge controller. Acting up here.
Oh yeah. That's something we need to probably explain. So the virtual controller is kind of like a thing that's a program that's outside of the game, and it allows you to map buttons so you can hold it instead of tapping it. And it's allowed for this game because there's a lot of portions where you kind of need to mash a lot of buttons.
And you can do it organically if you have a physical controller plugged in and you press interact on your keyboard and control on the controller. And the game thinks it's like 100 inputs a second. So it's basically a free turbo button. And yeah, there's a lot of mash. When you get grabbed, you got to mash a ton. And if you noticed me earlier, like I basically instantly broke out of the grabs, or I can also instantly pick up items on like max range.
Also, this is a cool part of the game. Lasers and whatnot. And all we have to do is just like mash E, so.
Yeah. So now we're at the final stretch of the game. Once again, a lot of good stuff. Archers, rocket launcher guys, and JJ, all can pretty much kill you pretty fast.
You're coming up as a part where we need to keep the elevator area clean where we're getting to. And this game, it's weird because even if the enemy is not on the elevator with you, it still won't let you go because like the detection for, I guess, a clear area is very high. So like, yeah, we need to make sure that all the enemies are kind of cleared out of the elevator area.
Oh, that's what I mean, like waiting for him to load his arm and you can shoot it to get a free stagger. Sometimes he's fast, sometimes he's slow. This part can be kind of RNG. Sometimes those two Ganados will like instantly rush you and like get you in a red right even before you throw the flash, or sometimes JJ will still be in the elevator just ready to shoot you down the second you turn the corner.
And you got the Plaga Ganado guy who is like infected and he runs very quickly. So he can screw up your elevator escape here.
Apparently, you can unintentionally cancel the elevator ride if you crouch too early. I learned that the hard way.
Me too.
Very, very good game.
But the thing is, like, that's your natural instinct is when you see the door closing and you see enemies like trying to hit you or throw stuff at you, your natural reaction is to crouch, but unfortunately that can mess up the door open or close.
It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it just feels awful. And of course, it's when you're on a good pace. And you saw there with Sadler, we did the Resident Evil Classic and hit him with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I don't know what he's about, but he takes one rocket, so we're not going to talk about him, I guess.
I haven't done that boss fight since like my casual playthrough. I don't know how it plays out.
It is difficult.
Yeah, I think a lot of like the Subways bosses, they're just absolute like bullet sponges.
Yeah. Oh. Face Clan, telling you. Sign him. This is the last part of the game where we kind of need to get through here. And yeah, there's a lot of enemies and there's a lot of like little technical areas here. So you can shoot that bow gun up there, or the crossbow, to make sure that Dynamite Man is not alive there, because he can, I think he can light, yeah, he can have the dynamite like lit and grab you, and then like, doesn't it blow up or something?
Yeah, he just takes out both you guys.
Yeah, on standard.
Yep. And sometimes you can also destroy that red barrel, so you can make a slightly tighter turn.
And the heavy nade that Iki just picked up is vital to this part, because it makes the tentacles here that get in the way a one-shot kill. And there's 2 tentacles that he needs to destroy.
Time to end this. Hold on, Leon.
The first set of the first tentacle, it's relatively simple. Toss a grenade around this angle, then hit him with a crossbow, destroy it right away. Oh, Nobies.
Oh no.
I hate Nobies. Oh, rocket.
Okay, I got scared. I'm like, will I get hit here? I'm not sure. You never know with this game.
Yeah. Oh, I hit it here. Yeah. Okay. You absolutely can. I've died in every single possible way there is to die in this DLC.
And like, here is the very last elevator, so there's no more enemies here, but if you leave that Rocket Man alive that Iki crossbowed, he has a possibility of like shooting a rocket, curving the corner.
I died right here from a rocket.
Doing the Luke Skywalker, shooting the Death Star system.
Yeah.
And just get right into the elevator. And if you don't have enough health, you will die. And your run will be over.
Fortunately, on standard, you can take most hits.
Yeah.
Usually. Still, some dark rockets you won't survive.
Yeah. And that is it. We go on the crate, give Leon the red rocket launcher.
And that'll be time and now.
The GG.
Fine. GG.
GG, Iki.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Before we wrap things up, did you want to give any shout outs and plug where we can find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/Aki with 2 Y's. I stream 3 to 5 days a week, mainly on weekdays. I'll give a shout out to Dangerous for giving me this opportunity for this hotfix, DJ for being my lovely commentator. My friend Dimitri, he's been watching my stream almost every single time I stream since I started last summer. And my buddy Forrest for building me this PC. I've been using the Speedrun stream.
Nice. And well, I'm going to shout you out for being on the show and showing us separate ways. It was super fun to watch, and I'm very glad to have had a talented runner like yourself come on to show us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks. All good things must come to an end, and so too it must be that Crosshair comes to an end this evening. But fear not, because the GDQ Hotfix which is also a good thing, is not over yet, because coming up next, we've got speedruns from the crypts. So stick around for some swoopy speedruns. And complementing the Resident Evil theme of this show, we've got Silent Hill coming up with speedruns from the crypts. So stick around for that. We'll be back in 2 more weeks with another episode of Crosshair, and it'll be a fun one. So we'll see you again in 2 weeks. And with that, no matter what your dreams, goals, or hopes are in this world, always keep them in your crosshair. We'll see you next time.